Kashisha Kadola Ishokorato Ira Iyejeka Maleba Tesiwaju Opo Ire Kato Todara
Thank you so much, guys, for joining us and then for joining me to watch my address on the campaign of the moment, which has been described, or for short, is called RUGA, which is the Rural Grazing Area for short. And I've titled this address, The Voice of Hope. And at the end of the day, you will agree with me that this is the voice of hope. But my focus has always been to the Yoruba nation, particularly its youth, because they are the next generation. I spoke to my father on the 1st of July. I wanted to ask for the detail of my great-great-grandfather from him. My mom said, oh, if you call your dad today, you are not going to be able to speak to him because he will be in church. You all know that I'm not a Christian, but both of my parents are Christians. But when I called him, he was not in church because every first of the month he goes to church to pray. But he wasn't in church. He was actually in a hospital, recuperating. When I asked him that I want details of my great-grandfather, and he gave me the details I requested in the hospital bed. There was nothing much happening to him. It's just a routine checkup. My great-great-grandfather's name was Shonuga. He was born in the late 17th century. He gave birth to a son called Ezekiel, who happens to be my great-grandfather. My great-grandfather Ezekiel gave birth to Ayodele, who is my grandfather. My grandfather Ayodele gave birth to Abayomi, who happens to be my father. Abayomi, my father, gave back to me, obviously. I have given back to a son, Ademidun. I've described 6 generations for you. There are 2 things that are constants with my family history: land and death. My great-great-grandfather, Shonuga, is no longer with us. He died a long time ago. But the house he lived in, that is the present place my father is living in. The house, the land remains. My great-grandfather Ezekiel is no longer with us today. He's no longer on this face of the earth. But when he was alive, the land that belongs to our family, it is in the hand of my father. My grandfather, Ayodele, is no longer with us today. These 3 men are now my ancestors. But my father is still with us. I am still very much alive. My son is still very much alive. Land and death are constant factors in woman's life. You don't joke with these 2 factors. Yoruba land belongs to Yoruba people. Yoruba land does not belong to Hausa Fulani. Yoruba land does not belong to the Igbo. That is my land. We did not inherit Yoruba land from my ancestors who are no longer with us. No, we borrowed Yoruba land from our children. So that is the reason why Shonuga, after his demise, he handed over the land to Ezekiel. When Ezekiel died, he handed over the land to Ayodele. When Ayodele died, he handed over the land to Abayomi, who happens to be my father. My father will not live forever. One day he will join our ancestors and he will hand over the land to me. But my father's generation has already failed me in his lifetime. Before Nigeria independence, we all agreed to a regional system of government in which the Yoruba will secure their space, which happens to be my land. In which the Igbo will secure their space, which happens to be Igbo land. In which the Hausa Fulani will secure their own space, which happens to be Hausa Fulani land. That was the agreement, so that my land will be handed over to me after the demise of my father. But in the lifetime of my father's generation, they allowed the criminally minded Igbo to suspend the regional government. They allowed the barbarian Fulani to perpetrate the unitary system that the Igbo introduced. Because of that, in my father's lifetime, I have no land. He doesn't even have a land himself. Why? The police in Yoruba land are not under the command and control of the Yoruba people. We've lost our land. The military bases across Yoruba land are not under the command and control of Yoruba people. We have lost our land. Our custom is being controlled by Hausa Fulani. We have lost our land. Our ports and our waterways are being controlled by Hausa Fulani. We have lost that land. The First World War, the Second World War, all started because of land. So I said to you today, RUGA is the voice of hope. With the campaign that is going on about RUGA, in which the criminally minded Igbo, who were the problem of Nigeria, who suspended regional government, they are saying RUGA. With RUGA, we're going to lose our land. We have already lost our land since the day the Igbo changed the political system from regional government to unitary system. We officially lost our land in 1978 when Obasanjo instituted the Land Use Act. RUGA is not going to take your land. We have lost our port. In 1975, Muritala Muhammad, a Fulani man, decreed that the ports in Lagos be appropriated to the federal government. We lost that land. Today, if you go to our international airport in Lagos, it is Hausa Fulani children that are employed. We have lost our land. It is not RUGA that is going to take your land away from you. Unitary system has already taken your land away from you. And this is what I want to sharpen your insight into. My father's generation messed up my own generation. My generation must not work very hard, unfortunately, to hand over that land back to my children's generation. There are two things that is constant in our lives as human beings: land and death. You cannot escape the two. There's nothing you can do. This is 2019. Had 100 years to 2019, it will be 2119. Many of us will never be on this face of this earth. But Yoruba land will remain. So what is the future of our children unborn? This is why I want to say to the Libra, you have been able to push this propaganda with your spouses who are evil, criminally minded people. You're saying that RUGA is going to take our land. Already unitary system has taken our land. I live in London. I used to use myself as an example. With master's degree, the English would tell me to come and wash their toilets. They would tell me to come and clean their hospitals with master's degree. Our wives and our women who are Yoruba living in England, they do care job. Kogbe. Our men are either driving their buses or working as security guard. Because this is not our country. Likewise, the Yoruba who are living in America, they do nonsense, mundane shit jobs. But look across Yoruba land. The best of jobs in Yoruba land has been taken away from us and has been taken over by Fulani and the Igbo because of the unity system. RUGA is the voice of hope. Now we must use this campaign to take back our land. And I've said to you, you can't take back your land by talking. We shut down Lagos. So when Mr. Buhari warned the people behind the Jegun vandalization of pipeline today, we laugh at them. I'm still trying to get a report of the group behind it. We have no knowledge of the people who have taken responsibility for that. But we said to you, we're going to shut down Lagos. When Lagos goes down, Yoruba land will rise. So when Femi Falana said that if we kill Fulani in Yoruba land, they will kill Yoruba in the north, we're at war, folks. If Yoruba stays in the north, they are going to die. So let us, Femi Falana is in my father's generation, they are age mates. They fail us. We must go to war. And Lagos is the battleground. Paris was once destroyed. As a matter of fact, the entire France was destroyed during the Second World War. You can never compare any city in France to Lagos. Well-developed places. Germany, the entire Germany was destroyed during the Second World War. Hiroshima and Nagasaki in Japan were both destroyed. London was shut down during the Second World War. But can you compare all these places with any inch of Yoruba land? No. Yoruba land must go down. And Lagos is the battleground. It must be shut down for Yoruba to rise. In my address today, I will sharpen your insight into fake news. And I've spoken to the leadership of the Yoruba nation. This is the time for us to address the issue of fake news. %70% online news portals in Yoruba land are spreading fake news. 70% of online news portals that we have. Despite heightened awareness of fake news made popular by President Trump, 90% of the people in Yoruba land claim that they cannot distinguish or differentiate between real news and fake news. Fake news is a major problem in Yoruba land now. And I've said to you, if BBC News Yoruba decide to do propaganda on the state of mind of the horrible, gullible Yoruba youths who are predominantly liberal, we're going to kill ourselves. We said to you, stop taking your news from BBC News Yoruba. They belong to English. They are spreading propaganda. From what we found out, 70% of online news portals across Yoruba land, they are not necessarily in Yoruba land. Some of them are abroad, but being consumed by Yoruba readers. 70% of news portals that you read are fake news. And 90% of the Yoruba people cannot tell the difference between real news and fake news. So this is an obvious problem for individuals as well as the wider Yoruba society. We have seen instances of manipulated data being commissioned to assassinate characters and disrupt democracy. We see the level of propaganda against Tinubu by the Yoruba Liberal, led by the PDP. They manipulated data telling us that Tinubu should be poor. Somebody who has worked with mobile, he was elected senator. He won as the Lagos State governor 2 times. The Liberal said to us that he must not be wealthy. He must be a poor man. So they manipulated data. Look at the audio being circulated by the Igbo all across WhatsApp group saying that Oshibado has resigned. You believe them. This is fake news. It is something that we have said to the leadership of Yoruba that we must now look for a way to address the issue of fake news. You must have heard about that audio saying that Oshibado has resigned. That audio was conceived by Igbo, spread by Igbo, accepted by the Yoruba leaders. Olori broken Yoruba leader, by the way. No, I know that. This is going to disrupt our society if we continue to allow fake news. We must address the issue of fake news. It is concerning to see Yoruba so susceptible to fake news and manipulated data. You know what happened before RUGA came. The rape allegations against Biodun Fatoyibo. Look at the fake news that came out with it. We read that Biodun Fatoyibo officiated the wedding of Busola and Timi Dakolo. That was fake news. This man has already released the video of his wedding. The wedding was officiated by another pastor, not Biodun Fatoyibo, but the pastor name is Sheyi, Pastor Sheyi of Global Impact Church. But you see the way and manner people who wanted to defend Biodun Fatoyibo twisted data, information literally, and send out signals to us that it was Biodun Fatoyibo who officiated the wedding. As a matter of fact, they brought out another propaganda saying that Timi Dakolo was a music director in Koza Church. This guy wasn't. This guy has released a statement. He has never met with Biodun Fatoyibo. In his life, Timi Dakolo released that statement. I do believe it. So you can see the rate at which fake news spread all across. So that's why we're saying to young Yoruba, you need to recognize some news portals that are not fake news. So when you see news being circulated across board, you do not necessarily have to believe them because they are messing up your brain. That is why you have adopted or accepted the propaganda around RUGA. The same way the Igbo brought out the propaganda about Jubril of Sudan. You bought into that. Look, the English, they don't have to come with gun to kill you, Yoruba. I have been saying it. Yoruba land is an illiterate society. An illiterate society. You and I who are Yoruba, we're in London, we do shit jobs. But we allow inferior, illiterate English to come to Yoruba land and work in our oil and gas, and control our shipping sector, and control our port, and control our financial and capital market, and control our foreign estate market. And yet we say that we are the most educated out of Africa. We do horrible jobs in their country with master's degree, with PhD, with Bachelor of Science degree. Illiterate English will come to Yoruba land and pick up the best job. Yoruba land is an illiterate society. You go to America and you will be campaigning against Republicans, supporting the Democratic Party because you think the Democratic Party will make you to stay in America as a Yoruba citizen. But you see daily Hausa Fulani and the Igbo moving into your space. You don't consider that as a threat. For you to stay in America, you have to involve in sham marriages. Go and sleep with old Caucasian ladies because of green card. Yet you want Igbo to have free access into Yoruba land. You want Fulani to control your police and military into Yoruba land. Yoruba land is an illiterate society. It is only illiterate society that thinks like that. When the English wanted to destroy Nigeria in 1960, after independence, they call us the giant of Africa. Are we truly giant of Africa? Benin Republic have been generating electricity, stable electricity supply since the 70s. We don't even have stable electricity supply in 2019. The English wanted to destroy you, they call you giant of Africa. You are not giant. They wanted to destroy the Yoruba and call you the most educated out of Africa. You are horrible people, Yoruba. Get this thing into your brain. I was following a Twitter response about a woman who tweeted that Nigerians, but she was referring to Yoruba, are the most brilliant in America. Have you ever seen the most brilliant American living in Yoruba land? Do you see the most well-educated, the most brilliant English living in Yoruba land? How come the best of our brain are living outside? How come? I've got master's degree. You can go, if you know my classmates, they will tell you I've always been lecturing them when I was young in university. How come I'm living a shit life, horrible life in England? I'm one of the best brain of the Yoruba nation. How come I'm not living in Yoruba land? Because we're a stupid society. We allow unitary system in a multicultural country. And people will now be saying Yoruba are the best brain in America. Horrible people. It's American best brain. Do you see America who graduated from Harvard, Yale University, top of the class, coming to look for job in Yoruba? But you're top of the class, you are doing miserable job all over the world. And you say you are the most educated out of Africa. Now what is going on? You have allowed fake news to destroy your mind. People circulating information saying that Buhari is Jubril. You believe it. They are telling you that RUGA settlement is going to take your land. Idiot. Already unitary system have taken everything that you own as Yoruba people. Liberty Stadium was built with Yoruba money. It's now a federal government stadium. We cannot even use it for any function in Yoruba land. And somebody is telling you RUGA will take your land. Unitary system has already taken your land. You are a foolish society. You are horrible, Yoruba nation. You just have people who are illiterate. Do you see the best of Japanese coming to look for job in Yoruba? Do you see the best brain in China coming to look for job in Yoruba? But they tell you Yoruba are the most brilliant in America and you will embrace it. Stupid people. That's why you have been overrun by barbarian Fulani and criminally minded people. We're terrible. That's why propaganda is now the thing that is destroying the Yoruba nation. I said to people before coming, I said, if YYF decide to use propaganda on you, believe you me, you are going to kill yourself. But we're not going to use propaganda. For the moment, we're not going to use it. But already we have testosterone shock therapy on you. Yeah. You see kidnapper, they will arrest a Yoruba man today, tomorrow they will release him. You think that is how they pay ransom? You don't have common sense. We have test shock therapy on you. I've been told not to disclose it. I said I want to give information to the youth because we don't have a standing army. If the Yoruba youth are well informed, they will harm themselves. We have tested shock therapy on you. You don't want to go to war. You want Igbo to continue to take my space so that my children will continue to be discriminated in England. Are my children English? So you don't want Yoruba land to be great? You don't want to fight to protect that land so that we can hand over a better civilization to our children? We will use more of shock therapy on you. You will fight. If you are unwilling to reject this unitary system, you allow propaganda of the Igbo every now and then to condition your mind, to refocus your mind to what is important, to what is not important. We're going to continue to use shock therapy on you. We told you we're going to shut down Lagos. You continue to undermine us. It is people who have often been undermined that ended up to be the most deadliest people on planet Earth. We're going to change your balance for you. And I'm thinking about my children. I have lived in England and I know what discrimination is all about. So you can see how fake news operates. We all believe that Pastor Biodun Fatoyinbo actually officiated the wedding of Busola and Timi Dakolo. But we have been told now with evidence that that was fake news. So we just believe everything pushed out by propagandist evil. This is the same problem you've had with RUGA. We are sharing information that we do not 100% trust without fact checking it. This is a dangerous practice. And this is what you do. There's a group, I said to them, I'm going to mention their name. They call them Yoruba Indigenous Worldwide. It's a Libra group. They put me in that group on WhatsApp. Virtually, they have almost 300 people there. But half of them are Igbo. And they call it Yoruba Indigenous Worldwide. They just push propaganda. And they told me that the people who are there are elderly people. They just believe everything being told to them. It is very, very dangerous, young Yoruba. Not everything that is being circulated on your WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, not everything is the truth. This is fueling fake news fire. We are spreading malicious activities of the Igbo and the Fulani against the Yoruba nation. This RUGA propaganda was to refocus your mind from the real deal, the Oduduwa Republic, the agitation for a return to regional government. Igbo don't want return to regional government. They want the continuation of the unity system. Fulani don't want a return to regional government. They want the continuation of the unity system. So they use propaganda to shift your brain. Yoruba is an illiterate society. Just take it. Look, we know how to deal with illiterates. People who are not brilliant, they are not useful. So if they die, nothing happens. You are useless society. You have a port in Lagos that is going to serve the entire Middle Belt. Hausa Fulani land, Kanuri land, Niger Republic, and Chad. And yet, idiot, you want to go and wash toilet for English in London. Aye eti baje, olori buruku libra, oloshi. What is going to be the future of my own children born in London? Where they are not even first-class citizens, they are 13th-class citizens, yet we have a port. Something that our children should be controlling. Olori Buruku is talking about RUGA. You have a police. A police. These are top jobs for our children. You have Yoruba who are graduates everywhere. They cannot even control our own police. And you're talking about RUGA. You can't control your military. In Lagos, we have more than 25 military bases. Military bases, all controlled by Fulani. And you're talking about RUGA is going to take over your land. Aye oni da. You lori buruku woman being. I want to go to London. I want to go to America. Aye oni da. Tin oni boba shelu ebe. Wo fe ri bi kan de si. Lori buruku kò fẹ́ jẹ́ kí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá dà. Ó ń bá Igbo sùn. Ó ń ṣe propaganda. Terrible woman being. Spreading malicious fake news. It's too much. You are believing Igbo, who started to bring propaganda. And I said, I just laughed at my mom. I said to my mom, if the English can clone any woman being, it will be Stephen Hawking, the guy who died, who was paralyzed. He's one of the best brain on earth. Why will anybody clone a dollar like Buhari? Clone a woman being. This has not been approved by any country. And you said Buhari has been cloned, and you believe the propaganda. You know, some people are not so important in life. Why is it that during the Second World War, America arrested German soldiers? They were not killed. They were taken to America because of what they were able to produce. Military weapons they were able to produce. America wanted that brain power, and they took them to America. House them, give them life, and they were producing weapons for America. You don't kill people with brain. So Yoruba society, you are just useless. That's why anybody can just come, sit down. BBC News Yoruba will sit down and push propaganda out of you. Don't you see their action during the election? BBC Yoruba was very active. After the election, do you see them anymore? They are propaganda outlets. Stop believing anything in English. They don't like you, Yoruba. They are our number one enemy outside Nigeria. Our number one enemy in Nigeria is the Igbo. You're spreading malicious propaganda. Fake news is now destroying our society. The following news online portals, I will list them for you. These are all fake news, and I want you to take note of them. These new online news portals, they are often attacking the Yoruba as a nation or any individual that is safeguarding the interests and welfare of the Yoruba nation. Let me sharpen your mind to what the Libra did. Iba Gani Adam, you know, he started at the age of 23, fighting for the Yoruba emancipation, attacking Igbo and Fulani. Do you know how he was described then? The Yoruba Libra called him Tog. At 47, he became the Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò of Yoruba land. Before he became the Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò, before his induction, the Yoruba Libra said he's an illiterate. They said he wasn't well read. This is a guy who went to LASUOS or UNILAG. The Yoruba Libra said he's an illiterate, that he cannot speak English. After his induction as the Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò of Yoruba land, he went to a church and he was rolling on the floor to give thanks to God through Jesus Christ. The Yoruba Libra said he should resign, that he should not be found in church. Then there was a time he dressed like a Fulani man, wearing Fulani Jalamiya or something they call it, Muslim clothing. He went to a mosque. The Yoruba Libra said that his great-great-great-grandmother was Fulani, that he has been compromised. But who are the people calling him out to go to war now? The same Yoruba Libra. Yoruba Libra is shit's head. They are members of the PDP and predominantly in the Pentecostal churches across Yoruba land. Pentecostal churches is not good. You know, we've been telling you. Look at the nonsense Fato Yimbo is doing. A lot of pastors in Pentecostal churches, they abuse women sexually. They abuse women spiritually. They abuse women financially. Women who are poor, they tell them if they don't give their first fruit, their children will die. So they will give their first fruit because they don't want their children to die. That is spiritual abuse. They said to them that, oh, their husband is evil. Or somebody who in your village want to kill you. That is spiritual abuse. They rape these women, both married and unmarried women. This Pentecostal pastor, they are sleeping with them. That was why I said to you, we're going to regulate them. We will regulate the Pentecostal churches in Yoruba land. You are bringing danger into the future of our civilization. You are going to destroy it. They are fake. Where you have more than 50% doing horrible things, the whole of them is damaged. So we are going to regulate them. It's just that majority of them are not coming. You see your wife, you in your own house, go and check your wife. They will respect their pastor. Hello, sir. And daddy, pastor. They will never respect you. Maybe their pastor is sleeping with them. And they are telling them they have spiritual power. By the time we beat some of these Pentecostal pastors openly, or we shoot them with gun, these women will know that they are powerless. These guys are abusing our women. But we will address that issue because we have read our Lord's speech about religion. We are working on that speech. There will be a time that we will speak about that. It will be a policy. We will regulate the Pentecostal Christians across Yoruba because they are destroying the fabric of our society. If the Chinese had colonized the Yoruba nation, Pastor Adeboye, Bishop Oyedepo, they would be Buddhists today. If the Indian had colonized the Yoruba nation like the English did, Pastor Adeboye, David Oyedepo, all of them would be practicing Hindu. If the Japanese had colonized the Yoruba nation like the English did, Pastor Adeboye, David Oyedepo, they will be practicing Shinto. If the Arabs had colonized us, we will all be Muslims. It was because the English colonized us and they brought Christianity. That's why you are Christians. Christianity is not superior to any other religion. Jesus Christ is not superior to Shango. Jesus Christ is not superior to Oduduwa. Get this thing into your brain. The Pentecostal Christians are destroying our society. If Chinese had been the one that colonized the Yoruba nation for 100 years, because English colonized us for 100 years, that's why you are Christians. Christianity is not superior. As a matter of fact, Pentecostalism has destroyed Christianity in Yoruba land. Young people don't want to go to church anymore because all they see is fraud. All they see is crime. It is in Pentecostal churches that you will say that people can go and commit offense and Jesus Christ will forgive them. And Jesus has died for their sin. That's why you see young girls, they sleep about. They go and pray to God for forgiveness, they sleep about. The married women, they sleep about. They go and pray to God for forgiveness. This is the nonsense Pentecostalism in Yoruba land is teaching them. Why is it that in Yoruba they tell you anything about Dale? Is that not to address the fact that you should not commit horrible sins? That if you do, you will pay for the consequences of your action. That is what is expected in any legitimate society. But Pentecostalism is destroying Yoruba and saying that if you sin, Jesus Christ will forgive you. And people are still waiting for Jesus Christ to come. And I said to you, my grandmother died at the age of 102. Before she was born, they've been telling us Jesus Christ is going to come. Jesus Christ is not coming. That is the truth. I don't like you Pentecostal Christians in Yoruba. I hate you, as a matter of fact, because we don't research about you. Your hesitancy at destroying the Yoruba women is too much that there is need for government intervention. There is a need, urgent need for Yoruba government. We're not talking about federal government. For Yoruba government to regulate religion in Yoruba, to regulate Pentecostal Christians. The Orthodox Christians are self-regulatory. Nobody is owning the churches. Pentecostal churches is owned by individuals. And they are stealing wealth through that process. We need to control them. So folks, that's just by the way. I'm going to tell you the following news spotters that peddles fake news. and they are always behind attack on leading Yoruba political figures. They are always behind attack of leading Yoruba political figures. Number one news portals in Yoruba land that is spreading fake news is Sahara Reporters. The guy is based in London, America. He's based in America, but he's always doing fake news. We've said to young Yoruba, look, don't read Sahara Reporter. It's a fake news. I was still in a discussion with this group they call Yoruba Indigenous Worldwide. Sahara Reporters was put there. And somebody said that as Showore, because Showore is also a part of that group, somebody said Showore and Kanu has met. And then what is in and I quickly interjected and said, look, Showore is an Ijo citizen. Kanu is an Igbo. There's nothing to do with Yoruba in their meeting. Somebody said, no, it's not Ijo, it's from Ilaje. It's not Ilaje, it's Ijo. Arubo Ijo, Arubo Ijo. These were Ijo who left their own ancestral homeland and came to do fishing business in what is today Eseodo, local government, in Ondo State. And then they just stayed there permanently. We have not chased them out anyway, because there's no need for that. Even though they fought war between 1998 and 2000 with Ilaje people, in which the Ijo from Bayelsa and River came to help them. OPC came to help Ilaje people. And we shut them down because they were demanding for local government. Then we shut them down. They are the Showore Ijo in Ondo State. They are like Olukumi, the Yoruba Olukumi in Anioma land. They left Yoruba land and to do business in Anioma land, and they decided to stay there. It does not necessarily mean that Anioma land is Yoruba land. It's not part of Yoruba land. The Yoruba who are living there, they have 8 communities, and then together they are called the Odian clan of Anioma land. They are Yoruba, quite all right, but that space they are living does not belong to the Yoruba nation. It is the same thing that we're talking about. People should be able to speak the truth. And I challenge you in that group. Speak up. Tell us who you are. Are you Yoruba or Ijo? So you won't speak up, and I circulated this video into the group that, look, this is it. He was speaking when he met his Ijo leader. He said it's Ijo in and out. So why should we pretend Showore or Sahara Reporter is the leading fake news in Yoruba land? You know, I don't talk about Nigeria. It's none of my business. So when you go to read Sahara Reporter, you have at the back of your mind that this could be fake news. It's just running fake news, and it does not like Yoruba land. Believe you me, it doesn't like us because it's an Ijo citizen. The second one that is spreading fake news is Premium Time. It's owned by a Yoruba guy, but he does fake news. He's a Libra. Pulse is a fake news. All of these are Igbo news, news portals. The Net.ng is a fake news. Why Niger is a fake news. Jude, one Igbo guy is behind it. It's fake news. Nigerian High is a fake news. New Telegraph is also a fake news. The Eagle Online is a fake news. These are Igbo propagandist outlets. The CKN Nigeria is a fake news. BossNigeria.com is also a fake news. Can you love and like, guys, as you're watching us? It's also a fake news. The Sun newspaper is owned by Hoji Uzokalu, is a fake news. Stop buying the Sun newspaper. They are all fake news. They don't like Yoruba. They write horrible things about us. Vanguard newspaper is terrible. It's a fake news. Look, these are some of the fake news that you need to be aware of, because the widespread of fake news is too much. It's something that we need to deal with precisely and now. In addition to all of this that I've mentioned being fake news, they are all anti-Yoruba, publishing misleading information. Stop reading them. If you cannot stop reading them, if you do read them, just have at the back of your mind that these guys are fake news. They are spreading fake news. Just note that. If you do, it will help us to address the issue of fake news being circulated by the Igbo in Yoruba land. The RUGA settlement is a fake news, and I'm going to come to that. You know how I do my things. We are going to get to that. Now, we have said to you these news portals are fake news, but it is not every one of them. The cable is not a fake news. The cable news online portal, very good. I think Simeon Kolawole or somebody is behind it. It's a reliable news portal, but it's pro-Fulani, so you have to know. Yeah, cable news is a reliable news portal, but it is pro-Fulani. It's not pro-Yoruba, but they don't carry fake news. PM News is not a fake news. No, it's a very good news. It is, again, a reliable news portal. It is pro-Yoruba, PM News. So if you are not reading it, I advise you to read PM News. The Nation newspaper is not fake news. It is owned by Tinubu. So you expect the Nation newspaper to be pro-APC, but not fake news. In England, where I'm living, newspaper, they don't pretend about their support for a political party. There is a campaign going on now. Newspaper have already said, I like Boris, I don't like Boris. They don't pretend. White people don't pretend. They speak the truth. But majority of black people, particularly Igbo and Fulani, they are too deceitful. Newspaper in Yoruba should be able to come out and say, look, this is the people we support. So the Nation newspaper is not a fake news, but it is pro-APC. The Nigerian Tribune is not a fake news, but it is pro-PDP. The Punch newspaper is not a fake news. As a matter of fact, that's the best newspaper in West Africa. It's beyond Nigeria. Punch newspaper is not a fake news. It's not. It's a reliable source of news. When some newspaper approached me for an interview, I turned them down in 2017. I don't give interview to fake news. Vanguard came. I turned them down. Horrible people. I don't give interview to fake news. I don't know how Punch came. I think they told Punch, because I said to them, I've been reading Punch since I was a young teenager. Yeah, so I granted interview to Punch. So all of them copied from Punch. If I granted them the interview, they will have twisted. So Punch newspaper is the best newspaper in Europe, and I hope you're going to read it. These are not fake news. So I'm speaking on RUGA now, but you don't know, but I've come into RUGA now. Now, you know fake news. Sahara Reporter is their leader. Premium Time is fake news. All of them, and all this Igbo ridiculous out there, what do they call it? Why Nigeria is fake news. Nigeria has the New Telegraph. All of them are fake news. You know the one that is not fake news now. The Cable, PM News, The Nation newspaper, Nigerian Tribune, Punch newspaper, and there are some who are not fake news that I've not mentioned. So on Saturday, 29th of June, 2019, the Nation newspaper and the PM News, you know, they are reliable news source of news. Both reported that Fulani herdsmen killed a hunter in Orin, Ekiti, in Idosi local government area of Ekiti State. That report is true because it was reported by the Nation newspaper and the PM News. Fulani killed a hunter in Orin, Ekiti, in Idosi local government area of Ekiti State. The hunter name was given as Emmanuel Ilori. He was said to have been killed at the midnight while hunting for animals with some of his colleagues. One of his colleagues was Mr. Adeni Ajayi, a hunter who escaped during the incident that Ilori was killed by Fulani herdsmen. Ajayi told the Nation newspaper, he said, and I quote, "We met the headmen numbering about 30 in the abandoned piggery farm in the town." He continues, "And we attempted to inquire about what they were doing on the farm. Suddenly, they brought out rifles shooting at our direction, thus resulting in the death of Mr. Ilori. And of course, Mr. Ilori was actually killed by a Fulani man on the 29th of June, 2019. Our condolences how with the family of Mr. Ilori. And on behalf of the Yoruba nation, the Ekiti State Governor attended to his family to sympathize with them. This is one killing too much, guys. Again, on the same Saturday, 29th of June, 2019, the Punch newspaper reported that Fulani herdsmen invaded a village in Ogun State and hacked the community's 76-year-old leader, Chief Ismail Adashofunjo, leaving him for dead. He was hacked with weapon, obviously. The Fulani herdsmen reportedly invaded The Fulani herdsmen reportedly invaded the village situated under Odeda local government area of the state around 8 p.m., wreaking havoc all across the place, including inflicting deep machete cuts to Mr. Adashofunjo's head. The 76-year-old man was said to be in critical condition as I speak to you now. He is still at the hospital receiving treatment. According to the findings by Saturday's Punch, the elderly man was attacked following his wife's alleged failure to sell cigarettes to two of the Fulani herdsmen on the night before the attack. So because the wife refused to sell cigarettes to the Fulani herdsmen, they hacked the husband with their weapon in Yoruba. I just want you to take note of that. I'm quoting from reliable sources. Newspaper, Punch newspaper. I've quoted from the Nation newspaper and PM. I'm not quoting from Sahara Reporter or Premium Time. They are fake news. They're not reliable. The Nigerian Tribune on the 24th of June, 2019 reported that Miss Ogbemev Omoruyi Honor, that's her name, Honor, Miss Honor, a core member who was observing her NYSC service in Ekiti State, died shortly after complaining of headache. According to the Nigerian Tribune report, Miss Omoruyi took paracetamol, but soon after that started to convulsing and foaming from the mouth. She was said to have died from fake drugs being sold in Yoruba land by the Igbo. You have seen how it was reported Fulani killing Emmanuel Ilori in Ekiti State. You have seen how it was reported by reliable Punch newspaper how Fulani hacked Mr. Adashofunjo's head with weapon because the wife refused to sell cigarettes. Now, you have now seen how a youth couple, Miss Omori, died from fake drug being sold in Yoruba land by the Igbo. And I will tell you another report. On the 27th of June 2019, Mrs. Kelechi Oji, an immigrant Igbo who produces fake pig milk in Lagos, was arrested and paraded by the police. It has been recorded, according to the former governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babatunde Fashola, that more than 500,000 Yoruba citizens and residents living in Yoruba land died from production of fake drugs and other products. You've seen that report of that woman, Mrs. Kelechi Oji. You've seen the picture. We circulated it. She was selling fake pig milk. You know how many children who consume pig milk? But our kids have been killed because they're fake, produced by the Igbo. On the 20th of June 2019, Kedu Ihia with his friend Ikechukwu were both arrested in Ekiti State after they had left Imo State to come and operate as armed robbers in Yoruba land. They killed a Yoruba citizen who had just withdrawn some money from the bank. During their police interview shared online, I saw it and I shared it. They confessed that they operated only in Yoruba land and in Ghana. They have their team operating as armed robbers in Yoruba land and in Ghana. These are Igbo citizens. Folks, in 1945, the Theft Act was introduced to Nigeria. Theft, pickpocketing, stealing an item or the other, was introduced in Nigeria in 1945. Since 1945 that the Theft Act was introduced, and 2019, as I'm speaking to you, no Yoruba citizen has been arrested in Igbo land for theft, for armed robbery, for kidnapping, for vandalism, for selling fake drug, for prostitution, for drug trafficking, for human trafficking. There is no Yoruba citizen who has been arrested in Igbo land. We have our own criminals. There are Yoruba who are armed robbers. There are Yoruba who are kidnappers. There are Yoruba who are pickpockets. There are Yoruba who are thieves, common thieves. They all operated in Yoruba land. They don't go outside Yoruba land to go and operate. But every now and then, the Igbo and Hausa Fulani people mass migrate into Yoruba land unregulated, essentially to commit all manners of crimes against the Yoruba nation and our people in the name of one Nigeria. The one Nigeria they imposed on the Yoruba nation after they suspended the regional government. Folks, I said in the beginning of this address, Yoruba land is an illiterate society. And one of the problems that we have is the Pentecostal churches in Yoruba land. Jesus Christ never stepped an inch into Yoruba land. If you read your Bible very well, Jesus Christ said he came for the Jew. Jesus Christ was a Jewish citizen. Jesus Christ was killed by the Jewish people, not by Yoruba people. Why is it that you have to pray like mad people? But the people who killed Jesus Christ, their home country is more developed than Yoruba land. We did not kill Jesus Christ. How come our home country is poor, wretched, miserable people living there? Because we don't have common sense. Because we are an illiterate society, stupid people. Igbo armed robber come to Yoruba land to kill you or there. You are saying you are one. How can you be one with people you don't speak the same language with? How can you be one with people you don't have the same culture with? Yoruba criminals operate in Yoruba land. What is the big deal? Why is it that the Igbo criminals are not staying in Igbo land? Why is it that Hausa Fulani criminals are not staying in Hausa Fulani land? Why must they come to your own land and kill your people? Because you are foolish. Because you are foolish. Why is it that the English police do stop and start on black people majorly? Because black commit crimes in their space. You allow Igbo to come into your space, you are talking about RUGA. You are talking about Fulani Esmen killing you. You are talking about armed robbery killing you. You go to Jesus Christ, Jesus Bamio, armed robbery, road accident. Is that how they pray to Jesus Christ in Israel, where Jesus Christ came from? They defend their homeland with guns. The Igbo are coming into our space. We are complaining about Fulani killing our people. We're complaining about Igbo killing our people. Why are they doing it? Because of the unity system. We don't have our own police. The police in Yoruba land are Hausa, Fulani, and Igbo. So how do you want to stop Igbo criminality in Yoruba land? How do you want to stop Fulani herdsmen killing you when Fulani and Igbo are in charge of your policing? Aye ain't bàjẹ́ Yoruba. Jésù ò lè gbà yín, Jésù nǹkan fi yín rẹ́rìn níbi tó wà ní. Olórí burúkú ló pọ̀ jù nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. Ayé ìyá yín Libra kò ní sunwọ̀n fún yín. olóṣì àwa wà ń lu òyìnbó ń ṣe wá bó jẹ́ wò wọ́n ń fojú wa ráre ó ń jẹ́ kí Igbo armed robber wọlé sílẹ̀ Yorùbá ó ń jẹ́ kí Fúlàní herdsmen wọlé sílẹ̀ Yorùbá olórí burúkú ṣebí torí pé ó control ọlọ́pàá ẹ̀ ni ṣebí torí pé à control military wa ni tá bá control ọlọ́pàá wa táwọn ọmọ wa ń ṣiṣẹ́ ọlọ́pàá táwọn ọmọ wa ń ṣiṣẹ́ military wọ́n bí aláya Igbo kó wá jalè lẹ̀ Yorùbá. But you don't talk about this reality. You just talk about propaganda. RUGA, RUGA, RUGA. They are going to take our land, horrible people. If they put me in charge of policing in London, believe you me, I will revenge for what the police did to me on English citizen. It is tit for tat. That's how life is. You allow Igbo to be policemen in Yoruba land, and you are complaining about armed robbery. Is Yoruba land Igbo land? You allow Fulani to control your police. You allow Fulani to control the military in Yoruba land. You are complaining that Fulani have taken over your bushes and your forests in Yoruba land. Are you out of your mind? Olórí burúkú. Yoruba Libra kò ní bá fáyé yìí. After learn Yoruba Libra, tó bá bí yín research, call anything by Adéyínká grandson tó jẹ́ fake news ni o. O lè kọ truth nípa mi o, sọ̀rọ̀ nípa àwọn girlfriend mi ò ràn ẹ́ o, tó bá jẹ́ pé ó tọ́ ni o. Sọ̀rọ̀ nípa nǹkan tí mo ti ṣe o tí ò dáa o tó bá yẹ pé mo ṣe ni o tó bá lo propaganda fún mi àwọn boys àbá ẹ̀ lé gbà bẹ́ẹ̀ mo sọ fún yín mo ti ń wọ̀n ẹ̀yin Libra ẹ̀ torí tá a bá dá sẹ̀ríà fún yín ẹ máa bá future àwọn ọmọ wa jẹ́ ni jẹ́ ká máa wá tó ọmọ tí wọ́n máa jókòó sí London àbí kàn máa useless horrible people. So Igbo are coming into Yoruba land. You have seen the example that we've given you. You've seen the report from the Nation newspaper and the PM newspaper reporting how Emmanuel Ilori was killed in Ekiti. Punch newspaper reported how Mr. What's the name? Adasho Funjo was hacked in Ogun State. Nigerian Tribune reported how Miss Omori died from fake drug. We saw how police paraded Mrs. Kelechi Orji for selling fake pig milk. We saw how an Igbo man, Ikendu Iyala, and Ikechukwu were arrested, who came from Imo State to operate in Ekiti State, and they kill a Yoruba citizen. Why is it that Igbo and Fulani are coming to commit crimes in Yoruba land? Because we don't control our police. Because we don't control our military. We don't control our custom. We don't control our immigration. Igbo and Fulani control this. So their people can come and operate and kill you. And they will continue to kill you because Yoruba is an illiterate society. You are not as smart as the Caucasian. That is the truth. You are not as smart as the English. Caucasians will not allow African America to police their area. English will not allow Scottish to be policing England. Yoruba, you are just useless, by the way, believe you me. Believe you me. That's why it is good to attack some of you. You cannot be a father and you don't want to take care of your children. You decide to be locked up in prison. How can you have sex? You have children, you don't want to take care of them. It's terrible. Now, folks, Igbo and Fulani are constituting big problem into Yoruba land. But I will shock you with this statement. These guys are not even our neighbor. You don't believe this? You don't believe it? Eric, I get it. You don't believe these guys. Igbo are coming to kill us in Yoruba land. Fulani are coming to kill us in Yoruba land. They are not even our neighbors. It will be shocking. Many Yoruba people are not even aware that the Igbo and the Fulani are not even Yoruba neighbors. We do not have common language with them. We do not have common culture with them. We do not have common norms and value system with them. We do not have the same political boundaries. Our political boundaries are not the same with the Igbo and the Fulani. This is the truth. We don't share political boundaries with them. Yoruba border is not close to Hausa Fulani border. Yoruba do not share border with the Igbo. They are not even our neighbors. They are constituting nuisance to Yoruba land. The distance between Port Novo in Benin Republic, Port Novo real name is Ajashe, it's a Yoruba town or city in Benin Republic. The distance between Port Novo, Ajashe in Benin Republic to Lagos, Eko, Lagos is the Portuguese name. Eko is the real name of Lagos. Port Novo is a French name. The real name is Ajashe. This is the effect of slavery and colonialism, by the way. If you look at the distance between Port Novo, which is Ajashe in Benin Republic, to Lagos, which is Eko in Yoruba, the distance by road is 109.6 kilometers. By road. Lagos to Port Novo, 109.6 kilometers by road. Let us look at Lagos to Enugu. The distance between Enugu, which is Igbo land, to Lagos, Yoruba land, is 559.9 kilometers by road. You see that? Port Novo to Lagos, Yoruba land, is about 109 kilometers by road. Enugu to Lagos in Yoruba land is 559.9 kilometers by road. We're not close to them. Folks, if you look at the distance between Lome in Togo, Togo is another country. Lome, the distance between Lome, which is in Togo, and Lagos in Yoruba land, the distance is 269.4 kilometers by road. 269.4 kilometers by road. Lagos to Lome in Togo Republic. What is the distance between Enugu and Lagos? 559.9 kilometers. Yoruba and Igbo were not neighbor. We're not even close. People will walk that long distance of kilometer by road to come and kill us in Yoruba land. But our next door neighbor, Benin Republic, the people don't come and kill us in Yoruba land. Our next door neighbor in Togo, they don't come to kill us in Yoruba land. But people from a far distance, Igbo, are coming to kill us. What does that tell you, folks? You don't control your home police. You don't control your home military. Foreigners will come to kill you in your space. Let us look at the distance between Accra, Ghana. At least if you don't know Benin Republic, if you are so fucked up in your brain, you don't know Togo, you must have heard about Accra before, which is Ghana. The distance between Accra in Ghana to Lagos, Yoruba land, you know how much it is? Is 459.3 kilometers. So if you jump into a car now in Accra, you will get to Lagos, Yoruba land. If you jump into a car in Enugu now coming to Lagos, you cannot get to Lagos before the man coming from Accra. The man coming from Accra will get to Lagos before you who is coming from Enugu. Yoruba and Igbo, we are not neighbors. Yoruba, we are neighbor to the Benin Republic, to Togo, and to Ghana. So if you jump into the car in Ghana, Accra, you will get to Yoruba land first before somebody coming from Enugu. But what does that tell you? Our neighbors don't come to attack us in Yoruba land. Do you see people coming from Benin Republic? Do you see people coming from Togo? Do you see people coming from Ghana? These are our closest neighbors. Coming to operate as herdsmen to kill us in Yoruba land? No. But Igbo criminals are coming. Hausa Fulani criminals are coming. Now let us look at the distance from Kano to Lagos. The distance from Kano to Lagos is 998.2 kilometers by road. So if you jump into a car from Kano and you are coming to Lagos, if you jump into a car in Accra, you will get to Lagos and you must have retired for like about a day before you will get Kano to Lagos. Hausa Fulani are not even our neighbors. Now the question is this: people who are the closest to you must be the people giving you problem. We must be having problem with Togo Republic, Benin Republic, and Ghana because these are our closest neighbors. These are actually our allies. But how come is people that are far away from the Yoruba land, Igbo and Fulani. How come they are the people killing us in Yoruba land? Why is Togo, Ghana, and Benin Republic, why are they respecting Yoruba space? Because we are all independent nations. So if we have Oduduwa Republic, there will be freedom for the Yoruba nation, because we will be in charge of everything in Yoruba land. Igbo won't come into our space. Hausa Fulani won't come into our space. The same way Ghanaians are not coming to our space, Togolese are not coming to our space, Beninois are not coming to our space. Freedom is coming your way, folks, believe it me. Freedom is going to come. If we continue with this unitary system, somebody from 559.9 kilometer distance from Enugu will come and kill us in Lagos. Someone from 998.2 kilometers in Kano will come and kill us in Lagos. That's why Fulani experts are moving everywhere. Igbo criminals are coming to operate in Yoruba land with levity. Nobody to stop these guys, because we're on unitary system. They continue to tell you RUGA, with their horrible propaganda. Igbo are not your neighbor. This is why conservative young Yoruba, we are the smartest. We are better than Libra. Libra don't read. We do research to give you information. Yoruba land is closer to Benin Republic, to Togo, and to Ghana than to Igbo land and Hausa Fulani land. How come our neighbors in Ghana, how come they are not constituting nuisance to Yoruba land? How come our neighbor in Togo, how come they are not killing us in Yoruba land? How come our neighbor in Benin Republic, how come they are not killing us in Yoruba land? But people who are far away from us, Igbo, they are coming to kill us in Yoruba land. People who are far away from us, Hausa Fulani land, Hausa Fulani people, they are coming to kill us. If you are moving from Igbo land to Yoruba land, you will have to meet Ijo, Igbira, Idoma, Igala, Urobo, Isoko, Okwani, Aniocha, Ika, Edo, before you get to Yoruba land. Look at the number of countries that they have to get through, because these are independent countries. Fulani, if they are coming to Yoruba land, they will get to a number of countries like Nupe, Bariba, and several others before they will even get close to Yoruba borders. And they come to kill us with ease because they centralize the system. They are using the presidency to suppress and subjugate the Yoruba nation. With or without RUGA, Igbo and Fulani are political allies suppressing the Yoruba nation. It is when we shut down Lagos that we will be free. And I want to extend a hand of friendship to our neighbor in Benin Republic, Togo, and Ghana. You've been good. You don't constitute nuisance to us. We would like to trade with you. But Igbo and Fulani, believe you me, Lagos is your burial ground. Take it from me. Lagos State is your burial ground, because we will kill you to secure the Yoruba land for the unborn generation. That is how everybody does. America is doing the same thing. That's why they are building the wall. I will speak on the statement of the U.S. ambassador to Nigeria. That statement is very, very important. I will speak on that too. Today, Yoruba people were not fighting with the people from Ghana. They are closer to us than people from Igbo land. Yoruba people were not fighting with the people in Togo. They are closer to us than Hausa Fulani people. We're not fighting with the people in Benin Republic. They are closer to us than the Igbo. But the Igbo and Fulani are constituting nuisance to us. Look at the distance of Igbo land to our own land. Look at the distance of Hausa Fulani land to our space. We're not even close to these people. So the Igbo come into Yoruba land and engage in armed robbery, kidnapping, vandalism, human trafficking, drug trafficking in Yoruba land, killing Yoruba people. Why are they able to deal with this? Fulani X-Men are coming. They destroy our farms. Why are they able to do this in our homeland? I have told you the answer, and I expected you to give me an answer. The answer is very simple. They are able to come into Yoruba land unregulated and kill our people like flies because of the unitary system that has denied the Yoruba nation their rights to control our own police, to control our whole military. This is the solution that we must look towards. If we decentralize Nigeria, nobody will come with the idea of RUGA. Nobody. So the Igbo are changing the argument. They want you to lose focus on what is the most important to you. The problem of Nigeria is not RUGA. The problem of Nigeria is the unity system. The Igbo do not want us to go back to regional government. The Igbo people are number one enemy of the Yoruba nation. I spoke about fake news. They spread fake news to you. And you help them to share it because you are an illiterate people. That you have gone to university doesn't make you smart. The military in Yoruba land is being controlled by the Fulani and the Igbo. The police in Yoruba land is being controlled by the Fulani and the Igbo. The judiciary in Yoruba land is being controlled by the Fulani and the Igbo. It will shock you. All of the reports that I've read about EFCC that have arrested young Yoruba for Yahoo, they have always been taking them to court in Yoruba land. That court has been shared by Fulani judges in Yoruba land. So we are the most educated, supposedly the most educated. We don't even have judges in our high court anymore. It is Fulani judges that are there. So they have taken control of everything. This should concern you, not RUGA. RUGA is the propaganda of the Igbo supported by the Fulani to distract you from the most important agitation that you should face in your life, the end of the unitary system. Igbo are evil. They are hopeless. As a matter of fact, I advocated for their killings. Take me to court. I have ample evidence of how Igbo armed robbers, Igbo kidnappers have been killing Yoruba since the end of the Civil War. We want to stop this. That's why we're saying to them, enough is enough. You have to go back to your Igbo land. You must go back to your Igbo land. My neighbor is Benin Republic. 109.9 kilometers to Yoruba land. You, Igbo, you are 559.9 kilometers to Yoruba land. My neighbor is Togo. They are only 269.4 kilometers to Yoruba land. You, Igbo, you are 559.9 kilometers to Yoruba land. I'm not your neighbor. My neighbor is Ghana. Ghana is only 459.5 kilometers to Yoruba land. You, Igbo, you are 559.9 kilometers to Yoruba land. We are not your neighbor. Leave our space. If our closest neighbor are not constituting nuisance to us in Yoruba land, why should Igbo, who are further from us, be our major problem? Why should Awusa Fulani herdsmen be killing us in Yoruba land when we are not facing problem with our next door neighbor? Ghana, Togo, and Benin Republic. So they control the monopoly of power. That is why it's very easy for them to do what they are doing. So it's very easy for them. So folks, and to the Yoruba Libra, really, woman being shaping in Yoruba, I ain't you da. Lori buruku to yin láyé yóò sí. Kò dẹ̀ ní sunwọ̀n fún yín o. Báwọn Jẹ̀bú ṣe máa ń sọ, kò lè ever sunwọ̀n fún yín. Bí ti Yorùbá ṣe máa bàjẹ́ lẹ máa ń wá olórí burúkú mo jókòó sí London mi ò rí kan ṣe kan. A ní port ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Àwọn ọmọ Fúlàní foreigner ló tún control ẹ̀. Olórí ibu fẹ́ kí máa bá English jà, kí máa bá wọn jà nú iṣẹ́ tiwọn. Ṣé mo jẹ́ ọmọ òyìnbó ni? Ṣé English ni mí? Àwọ̀ mi jọ títí wọn. Olóṣì gbogbo iṣẹ́ tó wà nílẹ̀ Yorùbá Fúlàní ti gbé jáde. Bí Tinubu ṣe máa bàjẹ́ láwọn olórí burúkú Libra wá kiri. Mo ti sọ fún yín Tinubu ti dàgbà ṣó mọ̀. Ìwọ trust wà kọ̀ọ̀kan burúkú pa tó jẹ́ fake news ni àbí propaganda. A máa wá sínú ilé tó ń gbé níbẹ̀ láti máa dá sẹ́ríà fún. Níṣojú àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀. Because ẹ̀yin Libra yẹn tí wọ́n bá fi ìyà jẹ ní Yorùbá ò lè gòkè àgbà. Yorùbá ò lè ever gun òkè àgbà. Ayé yín ti bàjẹ́ ju bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Èèyàn á wà. A dẹ̀ máa ṣe ibi sí ìran ẹ̀. Mi riru ti Yorùbá Libra yẹn rí o. Èèyàn máa wà á máa ṣe bí sí á máa wíṣì ìran ẹ̀ níbi. Wọ́n pariwo RUGA, wọ́n pariwo RUGA. Tó bá gbé Tinubu síbẹ̀ kò ní rúgbó fẹ̀yìn náà ni. Ṣebí bí torí pé Buhari wà ńbẹ̀ tó jẹ́ ọmọ Fúlàní ni. Ṣebí torí ẹ̀ ló ṣe ń ṣe RUGA. Ṣó mọ nǹkan tá a sọ fáwọn Libra ẹ̀? Mo challenge one 3 days ago. A secure video Atiku tó ti ń support RUGA. I'll play it for yín lẹ́ẹ̀dẹ̀ ẹ̀rẹ̀. Mo challenge one 3 days ago. Mo ní kí ló yẹ tá ní view Atiku lórí RUGA ẹ̀ wọ́n dáhùn. Ní àná la circulate video yẹn síta. 2-minute video ni I edit ẹ̀. Ibi tí Atiku ti ń sọ̀rọ̀ pé yà òun máa kọ́ gbogbo RUGA káàkiri gbogbo Nàìjíríà. Atiku nìyẹn. Òun làwọn Yorùbá Libra vote fún o. Òun làwọn Igbo vote fún o. Kó lóun máa ṣe RUGA. We are still coming there. But you need to understand the basics of what we're doing. If you campaign for the decentralization of the military, the Yoruba nation will have its own military armed forces to be called the Yoruba National Guard under the command and control of the Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò. If we have the Yoruba National Guard, which is our own military, the problem of Fulani herdsmen will be a thing of the past. Fulani herdsmen will not dare to come to us. Fulani herdsmen are coming because Buhari, a Fulani, is the president. Because Fulani control the police. Fulani control the military. Fulani control the custom. Fulani control the immigration. Fulani control the monopoly of legitimate use of violence. So the Fulani herdsmen are confident it is their people. Put Tinubu there too, or put Oshibado there, or put Fashola there, or any pro-Yoruba. We will control the military, we will control the police, we will control the custom, we will control the immigration, we will control the prison, we will control the port, we will control the waterways, the same way Fulani are controlling everything. Now, come and tell Fulani herdsmen to dare the Yoruba nation if we are not going to waste them. I've said, Lagos is their burial ground. We will bury a lot of Fulani and Igbo in Lagos. That is where they are going to die. The Oba of Lagos have said it. We will bury a lot of them there if they think that this generation will continue to accept the subjugation of the Yoruba nation. So if we decentralize the military, the Yoruba nation will have our own military. I can tell you for a fact that Fulani herdsmen will be a thing of the past. It will no longer happen. If we decentralize the police, the Yoruba nation will have its own police service to be called the Yoruba Police Service under the Yoruba Parliament. This will end the criminality of the Igbo, including armed robbery, kidnapping, vandalism, piracy, prostitution, production of fake drugs and other products, human trafficking, drug trafficking, and organized crime shall end if we have Yoruba police service. So the nonsense argument around RUGA is a propaganda to distract you from the most important campaign of your life, hence unitary system. Igbo don't want us to end unitary system because they are benefiting from the monthly allocation. Fulani don't want us to end unitary system because they are benefiting from the monthly allocation. They are using RUGA as a propaganda to distract your life, and they are getting it with the Libra. So Libra, Olori Brukuni, Loshi. Thank you so much, Mr. Isaac, for your donation. I'm very grateful. So you see, the campaign is nothing to do with RUGA. RUGA would die a natural death if we return back to regional government. There will not be RUGA if we decentralize the military and the police. There will not be RUGA if we decentralize the court system. There will not be RUGA if we have a Yoruba prime minister. He will be in charge of everything in Yoruba land. Igbo don't want a return to regional government. They are propagandists. Tomorrow they will be saying to you they want it, they don't want it. We know. It is only a Yoruba man as the president of Nigeria who can return Nigeria back to regional government. Buhari will not do it. Atiku will not do it. No Igbo will do it either. Tell the Igbo, let us decentralize the military. They will tell you no. Because they are hoping one day an Igbo will be president of Nigeria so that he can use the centralized military to suppress the Yoruba nation. Tell the Igbo, let us decentralize the police. They will tell you no. Because they want to continue to work in the Yoruba police to kill you. Igbo police officers are committing armed robbery in Yoruba land. Thank you, D1, for your donation. We are very grateful. RUGA is a propaganda to distract you from what is the most important thing to your life. I have challenged you. Show me one American citizen, white, that is most brilliant, who is looking for a job in Yoruba land. Show me one English citizen who has a first-class brain, who is looking for a job in Yoruba land. Show me one Japanese citizen who happens to be their topmost brain, who is looking for a job in Yoruba land. Show me that Chinese. Show me that Russian. Show me that German brain looking for a job in Yoruba land. But the best of Yoruba brain are fucking wasting away abroad, looking for a job. So they tell you Yoruba brain are so powerful in America. The best of your brain are abroad. What does that tell you? You are a horrible generation. White people, they are smarter than Yoruba. It's a fact. English are smarter than Yoruba. It's a fact. Yoruba will go to London taking picture. When Oshodi is hopelessly, and I saw. But English are building their own space. Why don't you want to build Yoruba land? You want Igbo to have the same equal right as Yoruba in Yoruba land. Do I have equal right with English in England? Do Yoruba have equal right with Caucasian in America? So you're saying that Igbo should come and have the same right and privileges with me? Stupid people. So if we have decentralized the military, our military in Yoruba land will be under the command and control of Are Onokakanfo. Fulani herdsmen will never dare to stray, to just stray into Yoruba territory. They won't do it. Because they are going to be killed, if not arrested. If we decentralize the police, Igbo criminals will face out of Yoruba land because they know the consequences. But are they agitating for this real solution to Nigeria problem? No. They are shouting RUGA. They tell you RUGA will take your land or dead. I have a master's degree. I'm doing shit job for English in London. Fulani are in charge of my port. Is that not worse than RUGA? You have a port. Go and take the best job from English in England. Go there, Yoruba. Go and take it. You think they are foolish? People are telling you they will use RUGA to take your land when they have already taken our land with unitary system. They have taken everywhere in Yoruba land with unitary system. All the federal government jobs in Yoruba land are in the hands of the Fulani already because of the unitary system. So we say to the Libra, they tell you, no, we don't want presidency. What do you want, Yoruba Libra? Noise they make. They don't want presidency. So if Yoruba is the president of Nigeria, he will close his eyes and allow RUGA. He will close his eyes and allow Igbo criminals to operate in Yoruba. Stupid people. Yoruba is an illiterate society. You better accept it. That is the first step for you to be great. You accept your limitation. Then you work towards improving. We are an illiterate society. Yoruba, an average Yoruba want to go to London out there. They call it a city that belongs to the English. I want to make it. We live in London. You can't make it. That is the truth. You will earn enough to pay your bills, feed and die. You can never attain your full human potential because it is not your country. It is only in Yoruba land that you will attain your full human potential. Look at them. Governor Adimobi was in America. He became governor in Yoruba land. Governor Fayemi was in London. Go and read his book, Heart of the Shadow. He was claiming benefit. He couldn't attain his potential. He lives terrible life here in England. Today is your two-term government, and he could end up be president of Nigeria one day, so that he can help us. to return Nigeria back to regional government. You can't make it abroad. Don't let anybody fool you. Taking picture in New York or there. Is that your problem? When Yoruba land is in clear danger of the excesses of the Igbo and Fulani. Igbo are using RUGA as a propaganda to deceive your mind. Stupid people. I'm a graduate of UI. Great Ife. That's where I come from. I went to Unilag. Some of them will say they've been to Harvard to go and study arts, ridiculous courses. They can't think straight like human beings. They fall for RUGA, propaganda. Jubril, they fall for it. Nnamdi Kanu tweeted, signed, sealed, and delivered. He said he has signed a deal with the federal government of Nigeria in the presence of international communities. The idiot is still agitating all over the place after his alleged signed, sealed, and delivered. People who were born into criminal activities, evil, people who are propagandists, they will sit around and tell you bullshit. I'm going to talk about that thing anyway. We'll still come into that. Both the Igbo and the Fulani do not support the decentralization of the military and the police so that they can continue to use this institution to kill the Yoruba people. They use all these Fulani herdsmen that are killing you. They are using the institution of the military in Nigeria and the police in Nigeria under the Fulani to kill you. All the Igbo that are killing you as armed robbers, they are using that, the institution of Nigeria, to destroy you. To destroy you. So guys, help us to monitor the Igbo that are writing nonsense. Please kindly help us to remove them, folks. Both Fulani and the Igbo are holding on to the unitary system. They cannot sustain themselves without the unitary system. They cannot. They cannot sustain themselves without the unitary system. Harry, please help us to remove this guy called Terra Hartman. Help us to remove him, please. Harry, you're taking too much time for you to remove the person. Maybe you're the only one here. Maybe you're busy. So, folks, when we talk about RUGA or ranch or colony, I want to tell you that it is a distraction, a very big distraction by the Igbo and the Fulani to stop the restructuring agenda in favor of a return to the regional governments. Why should we believe the Igbo who came up with the propaganda around Jubril of Sudan? They said to you that Buhari is fake. Is Buhari fake? No, it's not fake, it's real. So they came up with that propaganda, you fall for it. Why should we believe in Nnamdi Kanu of IPOB, who is also behind this RUGA propaganda, who on the 16th of February 2019 tweeted, signed, sealed, and delivered, and averred that the federal government of Nigeria, in the presence of international community, had agreed to the terms and conditions of his group. It turned out to be fake. He was lying. So now you believe they are RUGA. What is the next propaganda they are going to introduce? What is the next one? They will continue to get you Libra. They can't get the conservative. We are not going to be coming out to speak on Igbo regular propaganda. We are planning a conservative talk show that I will do every day for a year. We're looking for funding to allow that to happen for 1 year. And we will do it massively by encouraging young Yoruba conservative to go and join APC and contest for councillors from their wards. We don't ask them to contest to be chairman. The party will have their own committed members to give that position. But ward councillors, we are going to push them out to go and contest it. The conservative will take over Yoruba. We're going to take over the entire Yoruba. We're going to rule. You will see. Already 3 YYF members have been appointed. The Osun State Governor, who just won his election at the Supreme Court today, appointed my communication director, the communication director of YYF, as a special advisor. One of the YYF members got an appointment with Hamak. They were people that we started these things together. Another one has a very top position in one of the Yoruba House of Assembly as the speaker of that assembly. He has always supported YIF. We are going to rule. The conservative will continue to rule, believe me. We're going to contain the excesses of this criminally minded Igbo with their propaganda. We're going to deal with them because they are our number one problem. Hausa Fulani are not our number one problem. They are the second problem of the Yoruba nation. And I'm going to address the statement of the UN ambassador today. You'll see, you missed something there. The man was passing a message. So the Igbo, after the propaganda around Jubril of Sudan, after the propaganda of Biafra, it's a fake thing anyway. You know, it's fake. They just want other people's land. That's all. I have never come across Edo youth shouting for Biafra. There is no Urobo youth shouting for Biafra. There are no Isoko youth shouting for Biafra. Have you ever come across a Shekiri youth saying that they are Biafra? Even Ijoha antagonizing the Igbo. Do you see Efik, Ibibio youth saying that they are Biafra? When they are observing their nonsense, is it not Igbo youth that are running around speaking rubbish? Biafra is a fraud. Everything about the Igbo is a lie. So this is another round of propaganda. They have titled it, "Let Us Talk RUGA," aka Fulani Cattle Colonies. They started circulating it on WhatsApp. This was written yet by another Inamdi. It's called Inamdi Elekwachi. I can't pronounce your name, folks. I have no apology to that. I'm not Igbo. According to Inamdi Elekwachi, is the newest Igbo propagandist. It stated in paragraph 2, 3, and 4 of that article that you have written, you have read, "Let Us Talk RUGA," aka Fulani Colonies. In paragraph 2, 3, and 4, it stated that one Fulani settlement will be the size of a local government area in Nigeria. That's what the guy said. All of you circulated it, particularly the liberals. He added that there will be 6 Fulani settlements in each of the 36 states of Nigeria, and that this will add up to a total of 216 Fulani settlements in the country. He said that in his article that you have circulated, which is pure propaganda. This is nothing but a pure propaganda of the highest order. He said that each Fulani settlement will be the size of a local government, and there will be 6 settlements in each of the states, making 216 Fulani settlements across the country. I'm a Yoruba citizen from Akoko. You know all that. Akoko is my tribe of the Yoruba nation. Yoruba is not a tribe, it's a nation. So I'm an Akoko Yoruba, but I don't live in Akoko. I don't think I've been in Akoko in the last 30 years. Yeah. I don't think I've been there. But I live all my life in Ibadan. Ibadan Southwest is my local government. That's where I lived until in my early 20s that I went to Lagos to work with Standard Chartered Bank. But I've always been an Ibadan boy. Ibadan Southwest local government in Oyo State has its headquarters at Oluyole Estate in Ibadan. There are popular territories in this area, this local government. The popular area are Owode Estate, Apata Ganga, More Plantation, Oluyole, as well as Oluyole Estate, Oduono, Adeoyo State Hospital, Oduono Elewe, Challenge, Elewura, Ring Road, Nepa, Jericho, Aleshinoye Market, Okebola, Yagonku GRA, Liberty Stadium, Okeado, Molefa Lafia, 7 Up, Okefoko, Alamu, Gege, Bonfoto, Isaleosi, Molete, and other areas. These are areas that constituted Ibadan Southwest local government area. You know, the Igbo who circulated that propaganda, let us talk RUGA, aka Fulani Cattle Colony, said that each settlement will be the size of one local government in Nigeria. And I'm talking about my whole local government, Ibadan Southwest local government. The above areas that I've mentioned as part of the Ibadan Southwest local government area have schools, hospitals, police posts, military posts, banks, churches, mosques, residential buildings, office buildings, fire stations, government offices, roads, bridges, and other public infrastructures in this local government. That is just one local government. So the Igbo guy said that they are going to build RUGA that will be the size of a local government in Nigeria, and they will have 216 RUGA settlements for Fulani. I'm just talking about one local government, which is my local government. Ibadan Southwest local government has a land mass of 40 square kilometers, just 40, very minutest, and a population of 282,585 as at the last census of 2006. But the Igbo guy and the Igbo nation who started circulating that RUGA article, they have alleged that the size of each Fulani settlement will be 310 square kilometers, when my own local government is 40 square kilometers, with all the hospitals, with all the areas that I've mentioned. Very big. But they are saying to us that one RUGA settlement for Fulani will be 310 square kilometers. And this RUGA settlement will have schools, hospitals, police stations, military posts, banks, churches, mosques, residential buildings, facilities for cow, this and that shall be built in each of these RUGA settlements by the federal government. Folks, this is ridiculous. I don't know why you circulated this in too much. That shows that Yoruba land is an illiterate society. Illiterate people. See, the education that we go to school is terrible. I have to be honest with you. Our education in Yoruba land is very terrible. Our mind has been porous, and the most terrible way that our mind has been porous is Pentecostalism. Those pastors, they create fears into the minds of our women. Until those pastors in Pentecostal churches, until they are arrested and jailed for abusing our women, that is when the brain of our women will reset. Fear is killing Yoruba women. They don't want to die because the pastor says they are going to die if they speak out. But that is a lie anyway. So I don't know why you have to believe this RUGA shit from the Igbo. Everything about the Igbo is a lie. So I believe when I read that RUGA thing, the guy who wrote it, Nnamdi Elekwachi, and the entire Igbo nation, believe you me, they are laughing at the gullibility of the Yoruba Libra, who have helped them to circulate the unintelligent nonsense of an article. If RUGA is a threat, why is it that if RUGA is a threat, I'm receiving a lot of information, and I hope guys can see me. I hope we have not been shut down from. Hey, we've not been shut down from Facebook. That's good, because I completely, literally ignore Facebook. I can't be bothered about the problem Facebook is creating for me. You understand? If RUGA is a threat, why is Atiku not talking about it? Atiku spoke out in favor of Saraki. He became the Anthony for Saraki, saying that the federal government want to arrest Saraki. He spoke out against that man, that senator, Elisha Abu, who assaulted a nursing mother. Atiku had an opinion about that guy. He had an opinion about Saraki being threatened by the federal government to be taken to court. But he had no clue. He expresses no opinion about RUGA throughout the time that the Igbo and the Libra circulated the propaganda. The Igbo and the Yoruba Libra are the main political base of Atiku. But let us see or hear Atiku's view on RUGA. And I'm going to play this for you folks. Let us listen to Atiku's view on RUGA.
Thank you very much for asking the issue of farmer-herdsman clash. I believe that the best solution to the farmer-herdsman clash is to try and enlighten our herdsmen on the use of feeding laws. And these feeding laws can conveniently be established all over the country, because we have a number of factories that are producing animal feeds, livestock feeds. There is need for an extensive public enlightenment to these herders. To adopt this solution is a way, to minimizing as much as possible the herdsmen farmer clash. It is an old conflict dating back to the years of the prophets. America has faced the same thing. Eventually, the solution they found was the establishment of feeding lots all over the country. So there, even the herders will find that their cattle have more milk and more beef. And therefore they can earn, in fact, better income or more income if they adopt that system.
So explain the system a little bit more. Is it something that you put on the normal grazing routes? How does it work? Because these are people who are nomadic,
yes,
who are used to moving. So
yes,
maybe you can explain a little bit.
How I explain is that each, let's say state government, through extension services, can enlighten the herders. It used to happen before, only that it's been abandoned. And if you enlighten the herders and then you teach them how they can remain in one place with the feedlots, it costs a little bit of money. But the money the income they are going to generate from the milk.
Yeah, that's about 2 minutes, 20 seconds video clips, guys. That was Mr. Atiku Abubakar. Folks, Mr. Atiku Abubakar is a Fulani who contested the election to be president of Nigeria under the PDP in the last presidential election. He was being interviewed by Kadara Ahmed, I don't know her name, to ask questions around the solution to the Fulani farmers' problem, Fulani herdsmen. And this is what he said, Atiku Abubakar. He said the best solution is the feeding lot. And he went on to say that feeding lots can conveniently be established all over the country. Feeding lot is the same thing as RUGA for Fulani. Fulani are minority in Nigeria. We're going to get to that. So what I'm saying to you, why we have established this, is that I asked a question. While I was preparing this address, I always test the mind of the Yoruba Libra. They are horrible, by the way, folks. I have to be honest with you. Yoruba Libra are shithead, terrible human being. They don't deserve to be in government in Yoruba, and believe me, they're going to mess up your life. We have them. You, Yoruba Libra, supported Atiku Abubakar, a Fulani. You Igbo that are circulating this propaganda about RUGA settlement, you supported Atiku. You voted massively for him. What is his opinion on RUGA? They didn't get back to us. So we pushed out this video. That was the statement he was making at the debates. He said he will establish RUGA settlement for Fulani herdsmen. Now, to the Yoruba Libra, whether it is Buhari or Atiku, both of them are Fulani. They are conservatives. By conservatives, they think about Fulani first. But you Libra Yoruba, you are mostly in PDP. You are audibly in going to Pentecostal churches, whether it is Redeemed Christian Church of God, whether it is a Winners Chapel, whether it is Christ Embassy. That is where you are mostly. You are horrible. You don't think about the interests of Yoruba a bit. You know, you don't deserve to be alive. People who don't think about their own interests, even animals, they think about self-interest first. Adam Smith said it in his book, The Wealth of Nation, that it is from the self-interest of a farmer that he goes to the farm to produce yam. I'm using the example of yam. Not that he likes you. He just wants to sell that yam to you and make money. So where is your own self-interest, Yoruba Libra? Atiku that you want to die for. Atiku that you are willing to destroy the name and character of Tinubu for. Is support RUGA for Fulani's people. When are you going to sit down and drop your toga of stupidity and drop the fact that you are having sexual relationship with Igbo and think about Yoruba first? When are you going to do that? We know how you are going to do that. We have read books about how other nations have addressed the issue of growing liberalism. You continue to do it, we're coming for you. Believe me. We will come for you, Yoruba Libra. If you are not going to think Yoruba first, believe you me, you are going to face the consequences of your stupidity. So all these Igbo who are shouting all about, their principal, Atiku, is support RUGA. So you see that. But before I go ahead, folks, you know, I said that Atiku had an opinion on Senator Elisha Harbour, who assaulted a nursing mother at a sex toy shop. Ridiculous, you say. But it's not ridiculous. It's entitled to buy a sex toy. It's an adult, so it's not a big deal. But you know, because of the nature of Nigeria, that man has not been arrested. You see, there was a report, an article rather, published by Punch newspaper in 2017. I forgot the name of the lady who wrote that article. There was a research that was conducted saying that 4 out of 5 women have been abused by their pastors in Yoruba land. Do you know how many husbands who have abused their wife? 1 out of every 5 husbands has abused their wife. But 4 out of 5 Yoruba women have been abused by their pastors. So you see, these religious leaders are actually abusing women more than their husband. It's a big deal, folks. This has to be regulated, the Pentecostal Christian, not the Orthodox churches. But you see a sitting senator, evidence has now been established that he assaulted a nursing mother. Forget about the fact that she's a nursing mother. That he assaulted somebody openly with evidence. Is not being arrested. He has not been expelled by the PDP. And this is the people that are doing RUGA propaganda. A senator, sitting senator with evidence, assaulting somebody, he ought to be expelled by the PDP. The National Assembly does not have any power over him. But PDP as a political party must show to the electorate that it's a responsible party. That man ought to be expelled. Then his constituency, Adamawa North, will now recall him from the National Assembly. If you think what I'm saying is a joke, let me show you how it is done in England. It is populated by white people, right? They are not animals. They do things legitimately. There is a lady, a Yoruba citizen. Her name is Fiona Onosanya. She was elected as MP, Member of Parliament for Peterborough. She represented the Labour Party. She was caught on camera overspeeding. She was driving her own car. She overspeeding. She was then contacted by the police. They serve her a fine to pay, fine to pay. She said she wasn't the one driving. The police said you were the one driving. She said no, it was my younger brother that was driving. She said it. Her name is Fiona Onosaya. She was elected here in England. The police took the case to court. They produced the CCTV of her, picture of her in the driving seat. She was convicted. When she was convicted, Labour Party, our party, expelled her for lying. They expelled her from the party. She went to prison for 3 months, served 3 months imprisonment. When she came out of the prison, our constituency, the people who elected her, recalled her from parliament and they replaced her. That is how it is done in a civilized society. Not ordinarily in a civilized. That is how white people roll. They are always reasonable. And to the Igbo who would say to me, oh, a Yoruba won election in England. Yes, because of the stupidity of the English who came to Yoruba land in 1851 and killed our people and enslaved us for 100 years. That slavery and colonialism give us the right to vote and be voted for in England. No Yoruba can go to Russia and say they want to vote and be voted for. Russian people never came to Yoruba land to enslave us. You cannot see any Yoruba going to China or Japan saying that they want to go and vote and be voted for there. No Japanese came to Yoruba land to enslave us. No Chinese came to Yoruba land to enslave us. It was the horrible English who came and killed our people in 1851. We fought 5 wars with them. That is why we have the right to vote and be voted for in their country. We don't have that right in Russia. We don't have such right in Japan. We don't have such right in China. So Igbo, if you think because I've used an example of a Yoruba woman who won an election and she committed an offense, she was removed, you say that you want to vote and be voted for in Yoruba land, you are out of your mind. We did not colonize you. We Yoruba, we colonized the people of Daom. If anybody must lay claim to any right to say they want to vote and be voted for, it must be people of Daom. And they are not even making that claims now. So Igbo, you can never vote and be voted for in Yoruba land. Don't think this generation is joking. So what am I saying, folks? Somebody committed an ordinary speeding offense. Speeding offense. She lied to the police. She never assaulted anybody. They removed her. A senator was seen assaulting a nursing mother. You don't do anything about it. Very soon you now say that God Almighty will bless you. No, God doesn't bless a people that are corrupt. God bless a people that are always striving for justice. So this senator is still there. Did you see the PDP expelling him? No. Labour Party expelled Fiona Onosanya because she lied over speeding tickets. Over speeding ticket. I have been driving one day that I think the railings, road railings, I hit the railings. I didn't even report to the police. Police sending me information and asking me that, did you drive this thing? I know they found out. I said, yeah. But they didn't do anything because somebody claimed insurance over it. I only hit railing, so with side mirror. If you have lied now, they will cause a lot of trouble for you. But we witnessed a senator assaulting a woman, a nursing mother for that matter, in the presence of a policeman. Nigeria is a shithole, believe you me, and he's still a sitting senator. So you open your mouth and abuse President Trump because he's protecting the interests of white Americans first and foremost. You said he's racist. You are hopeless. You're a Libra. You open your mouth and say, English people are not good. We do justice. That is how God Almighty bless nations. Where there is justice, such a nation will always be blessed by God. There is no justice in Nigeria. That is why you will see Fulani will come from Sokoto, Kano, Kaduna, Katsina, Kebbi, Kaduna to come and control our waterways in Yoruba land when we don't have job. To come and be in charge of our policing, to come and be in charge of our military, to come and control our prison, to come and control our immigration, to come and control our airport. People live in their own space. They have the same job in their own space. They come. God Almighty will never bless you because you are against justice. The action is injustice. Your society can never grow. When you accommodate injustice, is all about. This man ought to be expelled by the PDP. There's nothing the National Assembly can do to Senator Elijah Abo. Nothing. The National Assembly cannot do anything to him. A committee has been formed to investigate. It is none of their business. It is the party. If the party PDP that said that they are better than APC, they should expel him from the party. If he's expelled from the party, he will not still lose his seat. This is what you need to get. The people voted for him. His constituency voted for him. If PDP expel him, he can move to another party and still be representing his people. It is only his people who can remove him as a senator. But the process must be that there is evidence of assault. You understand? There is evidence of assault, video evidence. The police should have charged this guy for assault. He should be granted bail. A hearing day should have been set for him to attend court because there's evidence. And if the court finds him guilty, he should go and serve his sentence. Then, if his people decided to recall him, then they will recall him. Even if he's sentenced to prison and his people refuse to recall him, he cannot be removed as a senator. Let us follow due process. Because there is injustice in Nigeria, that is why God Almighty has refused to bless that country. It's horrible. Fulani don't have crude oil. Yoruba, we have crude oil in Lagos. We have crude oil in Ogun State. We have crude oil in Ondo State. We have crude oil in Ishekiri. Fulani are in charge of NNPC. That is injustice against the Yoruba nation. Do you see, guys? God cannot bless your nation. I'm not a Christian. Look at the way I'm preaching like a pastor. But I'm not a Christian. I'm speaking the truth to you. We see how white people relate in their own space. Everything is separated in UK. English control their own police. They have their own military. Likewise, the Scottish too. English have their own football team. Scotland have their own football team. English have their own Premier League. Scotland has their own. They don't do anything together because they are in the same United Kingdom. No, they recognize that God Almighty created them differently and they embrace that diversity. It is black people that are saying because you are black, then you are one. Black people are evil-minded, stupid people. God cannot bless you when you are always in favor of injustice. So you see that what I've just played for you about Atiku, he supported RUGA. He said it as a candidate that if I'm elected president, I'm going to give Fulani feeding lot across the country. But his support base, the PDP, the Yoruba Libre, and Igbo, they are antagonizing Buhari for RUGA. The same thing their principal said he will do if he's elected president. So you see, Yoruba Libre, you fall for the propaganda of the Igbo. RUGA is a distraction. They don't want you to focus on unitary system. Unitary system is your problem. It is why you cannot get married, believe you me. Unitary system is why there are no husband for you, Yoruba women. Unitary system is where your children are always failing behind. They are sick, they can't go to hospital. Unitary system. Unitary system is why your best brain are running away abroad. They live horrible life. Unitary system is destroying you, Yoruba nation. It will continue to destroy you until you end the unitary system. We either go back to regional government or break up Nigeria. Igbo don't want Nigeria to be breaking up. They don't want Nigeria to be broken up. They want this unitary system to continue. So they want to distract you from what is the problem. So they come about RUGA. My age mate is that lady that is managing MPA. Goodness, I can't sleep for days when I was doing research in respect of that. And I said to myself, with all my education, I'm wasting away in London. Fulani is controlling my port in Lagos, Fulani lady. Me, English will talk down at me, disrespect me in their own space. Jobs in Yoruba land, I cannot even work in that job. It's a pain in my heart. What do you think will be the future of my children in London? They don't have any future. That is what you don't know. My children will not be able to attain their full human potential if they continue to live in England, because English children have priority over my own children. So I want the first priority for my kids in Yoruba. I don't want Fulani to control that port anymore. I don't want Fulani to control my custom. I don't want Fulani to control my police. I don't want Fulani to control my military. I don't want Fulani to control my prison. We cannot be sitting down in other people's country and wasting away. You're talking about RUGA. RUGA. So you see that. So folks, at this moment, let us ignore the Igbo propaganda about RUGA and look critically at the response of the federal government. The federal government responded to that RUGA. Federal government responded to it. Let us ignore the Igbo propaganda. We know their principal, Mr. Atiku Abubakar of Fulani, supports RUGA. That's a fact. It's a fact. But the Yoruba Libra are crying, RUGA, oh, RUGA. Fulani ti pa wá o, olórí burúkú ni Yoruba Libra. Ayé àwọn Yoruba Libra ò lè dá o. Kò lè sún wọn fún wọn mo ti sọ fún ma. We agreed before this show that ká gbé wọn ṣépè. We know the politics we are playing to you. You don't know that we don't know what we're doing. When we started calling Yoruba is gullible, all of you were abusing. Do we call you gullible anymore? No, because the Yoruba youth have subscribed to YYF, organized violence. When we divided Yoruba nation into two camps, the conservative camps and the liberal camps, they abuse us. Today, we have identified the problem as Yoruba Libra. We have been attacking Yoruba Libra. We are deliberate. We planned everything. Our actions are deliberate. We are going to shock the Yoruba Libra because we are going to attack them. That is what we are planning now. Thank you, Mr. Deepo Falabi, for your donation. We are already making move. This is what you say. There's a condition to me. They say, don't talk about what we're doing. But I can tell you, we have staged series of attacks against Igbo in Lagos. I choose not to talk about it because we've been told not to talk about it. We have been looking for Ayo Adebanjo's house address. We just want to burn it down. There's nothing hidden. You want to destroy us? We are ready to destroy you. Folks, did you hear what Alaafin of Oyo said about Ayo Adebanjo? That man who is the head of Afenifere Libra wing. Alaafin said that Ayo Adebanjo was the one who lied against Awolowo. He was Awolowo private secretary. He lied against Awolowo that Awolowo had weapon. That Awolowo has stockpiled weapon. In 1962, this Ayo Adebanjo that is the leader of Afenifere PDP wing, he was the one who said that the Yoruba will vote for Igbo when no Yoruba has been president. He was the one that was attacking Tinubu. He was the one who was leading forces for Atiku with Yinka Odumaki. We are looking for his house. And I'm saying to young Yoruba, if you can find his house in Lagos, it must be the most expensive house. Burn it down. Ayo Adebanjo is the leader of the Afenifere PDP wing. Burn it down. Alaafin of Oyo confronted him. He was sitting there at this Ibadan book launch of Hawo. Alaafin of Oyo said that you, Ayo Adebanjo, you were the one who lied against Awolowo, that Awolowo had stockpiled weapon. He sat down there, couldn't respond. And this man is 90 years old. Yet, he's still frustrating the Yoruba nation. Folks, let us burn down his house. Simple. They are trying to kill us too. You don't know that? You don't know that they are trying to assassinate my coordinator in Nigeria, YIF coordinator? He's been attending series of meetings on my behalf. Series of meetings. They want to kill him, the Libra in Yoruba. They want to assassinate him on the day of this their Otoge rally. because he was helping to coordinate guys that will go there and stone all these liberals. They planned to assassinate him that day. They trailed his phone to Abeokuta when he was there. He was shocked when he left the place. Some people came to ask after him, and the guys pretended as if they don't know him. So after those people have left, they called him and said, but wow. He was shocked. He was shaking. He called me. I told him to relax. Let me know his movement. They're trying to assassinate us. So any toba yara do gungbe. We can't be slow, folks. So if you know how you are at the Banjo house, let's just bring it down, folks. Let us bring it down. There's no contest about it. It is in our homeland, Yoruba land. We burn it down because we now have information that he was the one who lied against Awolowo, saying that Awolowo had stockpiled weapons. Alaafin for just said that. So we must make sure he pays for the consequences of his action in his old age. Let us bring this house down. So, folks, like I'm saying to you, let us forget about, at the moment, let us ignore the propaganda of the Igbo around RUGA. Let us look at the response of the Fulani-led federal government. Let us look at their response. It is very, very critical. This guy, Garba Shehu, is also a Fulani, who is the senior special assistant media and publicity to Buhari. This is what he says about RUGA. He says, RUGA segment seeks to settle migrant Fulani pastoral families in which animal farmers, not just cattle herders, will be settled in an organized place with provision of necessary and adequate basic amenities such as schools, hospitals, road networks, veterinary clinic, market, and manufacturing entities that will process and add value to meat and animal products. End of quote. This is the federal government speaking in respect of RUGA. The spokesman for Mr. President, Garba Shehu, said that the essence of RUGA is to settle migrant Fulani. He said it. For goodness sake, I'm a migrant in England. The English don't respect me. That is the honest truth. They give me problem. Immigration is a problem you have to face. Job, you face problem. Housing, you face problem. Feeding, you face problem. Discrimination is a problem. I'm an immigrant with my family in England. It's not my space. The English are not giving us any preferential treatment. They are not treating us like human beings. They discriminated against us. That was why 2 stupid English police beat the hell out of me in 2015 and dumped me in custody for 5 months because of my ethnicity as a Yoruba citizen and because of my race as a black man. But you have the federal government of Nigeria saying that they want to settle migrant Fulani and provide them with housing, provide them with places that they can herd their cow, and provide them with network of roads, hospitals and schools, and veterinary clinic and market. When English discriminate against me in England, the federal government is providing settlement to migrant Fulani. When Yoruba in America, they have to go and sleep with elderly, old Caucasian women because of green cards. When they have to go and be sleeping with all manners of African American men because of green card. When Yoruba are involved in sham marriages in America because of green cards. When Yoruba women deliberately became single mother in England because of immigration paper. Nobody is settling us. Nobody is respecting the Yoruba in particular. In England or any European country. But you hear your own government through Garba Shehu saying that the essence of RUGA settlement is to settle migrant Fulani, people who are not indigenous to Nigeria. Folks, Yoruba land is an illiterate society. You go and have sex with a man as a Yoruba citizen because you want to stay in England. You go and do sham marriages as a woman Somebody you don't love will be having sex with you because you want to stay in England. You in America, you are paying women money to get married to them because you want to get green card. You are committing crime. Sham marriages. Sham marriage is a crime. You are doing all of that because you want to stay abroad. But your own government is saying that they want to settle immigrant Fulani. They call them migrant Fulani. From Mali, from Niger Republic, and everywhere, from Futagalo. But we get discriminated abroad. We are not treated well. Our resources in Yoruba land is being used to provide accommodation for immigrants. The best jobs in Yoruba land, immigrant Fulani are taking it as well as Igbo. So we go abroad to do shit job. Yoruba parent living abroad. Do you ever think about the interests of your children? I have a cousin born by an English father, a Yoruba mother. She can't get her life straight in England. She cannot get her life straight because she's a mixed race child. How much more me, a full-blooded Yoruba citizen? You think I'm enjoying England? I face discrimination every day of my life. Our home government in Nigeria is using the resources of Yoruba to take care of foreigners. Establish them. That is the response of the government. Many Yoruba in North America and across Europe, they have no access to healthcare. They don't have paper. They are sick. They can't get healthcare. They have no access to home accommodation. They don't have paper, so they are homeless. But your government is using Yoruba money to take care of immigrants, Fulani. Folks, we are illiterate. Illiterate. God Almighty has given you so much wealth in Yoruba land. You are running abroad where you are not even second-class citizen, where you are not even third-class citizen, where you are 13th-class citizen. My children are 13th-class citizen in England. So you are proud to live in England while your resources in Yoruba is being stolen to take care of Fulani immigrants. Have you ever seen a country where minority rule over majority? You don't know what brought about RUGA. I will tell you now. You don't know. You think it's about settlement. I cause RUGA as an individual and as the president of the Young Yoruba for Freedom. I'll tell you the brain behind RUGA, the reason rather behind RUGA. You don't know it, will tell you. So Yoruba women are doing prostitution in America and across Europe to stay there. Federal government through Garba Shehu want to use the resources of Yoruba to take care of immigrants when Yoruba are suffering abroad. Yoruba woman, I've seen one before, a student. She graduated with a master's degree in England. She doesn't want to go back to Nigeria because there's nothing for her. So she went and paid £7,000 to a man from Belgium so that she can do her paper. Yes, this man did everything after collecting £7,000. After a year, the man said, I want to have sex with you. If you are not going to allow me to have sex with you, and I'm going to go and destroy that paper. She opened her leg for the man because of paper. Yoruba are being raped all over the countries abroad because of paper. Federal government is using the resources of the Yoruba to provide for Fulani who are not even from Yoruba land, who are not even from Nigeria. And you fold your hand and you say that your problem is going to be resolved by Jesus Christ. You are crazy. You're crazy. Many Yoruba have died in the desert trying to escape abroad because of the unity system that is stealing our money to take care of the minority Fulani. Many Yoruba have died in the Mediterranean Sea because of the unitary system. So Garba Shehu is telling us that the essence of RUGA is to seek to settle Fulani immigrants. Yoruba are dying in the desert because the taxes collected in Yoruba land is not used to develop Yoruba society. I live a miserable life in London. Every day of my life, I just don't understand why Yoruba are so stupid for the best of your brain to be wasting away abroad. People that should sit down, shape Yoruba land, and hand over to our children. Fulani, while the Yoruba are facing all manners of problems. Look at what happened to me that I gave as an example. From horrible policemen here because of my ethnicity and my race. That's why it's a shame that illiterate English in Yoruba land, you treat them like gods. Illiterate English, they work the best of our jobs in Yoruba land when we clean toilet for them in their own country. You give contract to English businesses when they treat us like common slaves in their own space. Yet the Fulani-led federal government of Nigeria seeks to settle immigrant Fulani from across West Africa in an organized place with provision of necessary public infrastructure. Is that how we're being treated abroad? Look at how many people that are dying in the Mediterranean Sea. Yoruba citizen. You want to use the money you generated from our own space to take care of Fulani. Yoruba leader, our father's generation, you have failed. So what we are saying to you, don't get involved in this war. Otherwise, we will show our anger on you because you are the one that have actually destroyed our life. Those who think that the idea behind RUGA was only about setting up ranches where beef and meat value chain will be processed, you have no clue about ShopRite supermarkets. The beef and meat that you buy from ShopRite supermarket across the entire Yoruba land were produced in Ikenne, Ogun State. Every single beef and meat that you go to ShopRite supermarket to purchase, they produce it in one space. Ikenne in Ogun State. So if you think the intention of the federal government, led Fulani federal government, is to provide beef and meat, you must be a joker. You don't also have any clue. If you think the intention of the Fulani as expressed by Garba Shehu is to settle immigrant Fulani in an organized place, you don't know what is coming for you. You have no clue about the fact that in Yoruba land, we consume 10,000 cattle per day. It has been estimated that we have more than 15 million cattle. I said to one of our members in America, he has done a research as an elderly man. He's done a research about animal husbandry, ranches. And then I said to him, I need information because I'm going to speak to the young Yoruba. How many cattle do we really have? He went home for about 2-3 days and came back and said it's 15 million. And I have to speak to other people. I said, look, I'm going to speak about these things. I need a definite figure. If we look at all other avenues and all that, we came to more than 15 million. So both of them gave me the same round figure of 15 million. So I used the word more than 15 million. You see, we're working, guys. We're not just making statements. So the entire cattle that we have across Nigeria is 15 million or more than that, but definitely not up to 20 million. The size can conveniently house less than 10% of the entire landmass of Katsina State. The landmass of Katsina State is 24,192 square kilometers. If we have 15 million cattle in Nigeria, all of them can be put in Katsina State. They will only use 10% of Katsina State land. So the idea that the federal government is saying that they want to settle immigrant Fulani in an organized way is a bold-faced lie. It is not true. And this is an insult on the Yoruba that have died in the Mediterranean Sea, that have died in the desert. It's an insult on me and my children living miserable life in England, a country that is not our home, where we face discrimination every now and then. If I come to Yoruba land, would they ask me to regularize my stay in Yoruba land? No, it is my homeland, so I will not regularize my stay. I won't have immigration problem. But in England, I have to regularize my stay. If I live in Yoruba land, would they discriminate against me when it comes to housing, jobs? No. But they are doing it now under unity system because we can't pick up the best job in Yoruba land. The same discrimination we face in Yoruba land over job, we face the same thing here. So we can't attain our full human potential. It's an insult on me and my children, on the entire Yoruban citizen who are living abroad, that the federal government is telling us that the priority is for immigrant Fulani when we face hell abroad. It's an insult. But all that is not the truth. The clear intention of RUGA, I'm going to tell you. So we have about 15 million cattle in Nigeria. All of them can be put in Katsina State, yet they will be accommodated in less than 10% of the land in Katsina State. So the idea that they want this settlement for this is all bullshit. All the meat that we eat from ShopRite supermarket were produced in one place, Ikene, in Ogun State. So federal government is telling you nonsense. We, the young Yoruba for freedom, we are the reason why the federal government thought about RUGA. I'm going to expose it to you. RUGA is therefore not all about beef and meat value chain process. The major intention of the Fulani-led federal government of Nigeria with RUGA is to counter the argument around Fulani population in Nigeria. It's to counter my argument. Because the young Yoruba for freedom, YYF, we raise the fact that the Fulani people in Nigeria are a minority, and there is no country on this planet Earth where minority rules over the majority. The clear intention of RUGA is to increase the population of the Fulani to enable them retain power politically. It is because of the information we push out to the world. And you have forgotten this, but we are going to remind you. In early 2018, I was educating the young Yoruba and I was referring them to go to the CIA World Fact Book, where they will see the population of the ethnic groups in Nigeria. As of then, 25% of the population of people in Nigeria are in Yoruba land. Hausa and Fulani combined together are 29%, and Igbo 17%. That was early 2018. When I was teaching young Yoruba that I don't just pick figures from my brain or from thin here. These are my sources. Then few weeks after, we wanted to do an address in respect of minority and majority, as well as monocultural country and multicultural country. I went back to the CIA World Fact Book in order to show to the young Yoruba that America is not a multicultural country, it's a monocultural country, because the Caucasians who are white America are more than 70% of the population. I said to the young Yoruba that China is not a multicultural country, it's a monocultural country, because one of the ethnic groups, the Han Chinese, is actually 91% of the total population of China. I said that Japan is not a multicultural country, it's a monocultural country, because more than 98% of the people in Japan are Japanese. I said that Russia is not a multicultural country, but a monocultural country, because more than 75% of the people there are ethnic Russia. I said the same thing about Germany as well. But I directed the young Yoruba to go to the CIA World Fact Book and check out the fact. So before I go public, I tried to check out the fact again. Then I discovered that Yoruba that were described as 25% in the CIA World Fact Book has been reduced to 13%. The Hausa Fulani that were 20% for Hausa, 9% for Fulani, both of them 29%, they have increased to 37%. And from there, Hausa Fulani has been separated to be 13%, equivalent to Yoruba. We were shocked. So what we did, we traced the original population as supplied by CIA World Fact Book, showing Yoruba 21%, showing Hausa 20%, showing Fulani 9%, and all of them. We just coupled that with the recent change to the CIA World Fact Book. When we investigated it, it was the Nigerian Population Commission that have contacted the CIA World Factbook and increased the population of Fulani and Hausa to almost 40%. They were trying to fool the world and say that they are the majority. It was because of YYF that Fulani came up with the concept of RUGA to increase the population of Fulani in Nigeria. And they wanted all Fulani across West Africa to come and help them increase their population. So RUGA has nothing to do with the horrible mind of the Igbo and the hopeless Yoruba Libra. Believe you me, the federal government of Nigeria, they listen to me a lot. They have picked up a lot of ideas from what we say. I'm a Yoruba citizen. We have woman capital. I'm also an economist, so I know how to govern a nation. As an individual and as a group of young Yoruba for freedom, we're very precocious. It was because of our findings that the Fulani-led federal government is trying to destroy your mind. It's trying to destroy your civilization. It's trying to take your space, from you. And they are doing everything humanly possible, not for today, but for the generation that will be in 2119, that is 100 years from now. But hopeless Yoruba Libra open their legs, who are women, have sex with them. They don't think about their children that they have now. How much more children that is coming in 100 years. See a Libra Yoruba man, if you can give him Igbo girls to have sex with, he completely forget about the children he has now. He doesn't think about anything about the future of the Yoruba that will come in 100 years from now. But Fulani are already planning for 100 years. So you can see how horrible Libra Yoruba are. You can see why we need to destroy them before they destroy the Yoruba nation. So our children who are coming in the future, we need to protect their future. That was why we keep saying to you that we did not inherit Yoruba land from our ancestors. We borrowed it from our children and we must give it back to them in full. RUGA came about because we exposed the fact that Nigeria is the only country on planet Earth where minority rule over majority. Fulani is 9%, Yoruba is 25%, yet 9% rule over Yoruba. It is unheard of. Black people in America, they call them African America, they are only 12%. White people, they call them Caucasian, they are more than 73%. That is why white rule over black in America. That is why white are building the wall in America to stop the Mexicans from coming into their space, so that they can protect the future white generation. But Yoruba Libra, give them sex. They forget about the children they have now. How much more those who are coming in 900 years from now. So it was because of the young Yoruba for freedom that Fulani conceived the idea of RUGA. If you go back to the CIA World Factbook, they have not changed the figure. They put the figure, the author there. They want to show to America that they are the majority, so America must support Fulani to rule over Yoruba. Fulani are minorities. In order to build their majority, they are planning for you. But you continue to have sex with Igbo. Whether you have sex with Igbo or not, we are going to destroy all of you Libra and Yoruba. Because I don't want you to destroy the future of my children. I don't want my kid in England. There is too much discrimination there. The English are not racist, by the way, but they protect the interests of their own, first and foremost. That is what I want for Yoruba nation. We have to protect the interests of the Yoruba nation first and foremost. Why should I be washing toilet for English in London when I can be in charge of the port in Lagos? I'm asking you, why should we have a Yoruba PhD holder in England working as a security guard when he could be in charge of our military? Yoruba. Think about that, folks. So the essence of RUGA is to counter what YYF has exposed. They've already started that. They have changed the CIA World Factbook. They just increased their own population. So they will tell America that, look, go to the CIA World Factbook. We are more than the Yoruba, so we must rule. They are not. They are minorities. So they want to continue to rule you. It's a long-term plan. But you don't have long-term plans. Some people think that because I live in London, I'm enjoying my life. Idiot. When I was living in Yoruba, and I was more fulfilled than living in London. I work in Cornwall. I work with Standard Chartered Bank. I work with financial derivative. I was one of the top dog in the financial services in Nigeria. I am nothing here in England. I face discrimination every day. Every day I articulate how I'm going to go back to Yoruba land and make it great. The best of our brains should not waste away abroad anymore. So go and check that CIA World Fact Book. You will see what the Fulani are already planning. So the idea about RUGA is to destroy our population totally, to paint a picture that they are more than you. And they are planning for 100 years. You are thinking about having sex with Igbo. Stupid people. Go to United Kingdom. Majority English, rule over minority Scottish. English population is 55 million. Scottish is 5 million. Their Prime Minister, Theresa May, she has resigned. They want to replace her. It is two English that are contesting to be Prime Minister. How come they are not doing zoning with Scottish? Because Scottish are minority. Do you even see any Scottish saying that they want to be Prime Minister? That is one good thing about white people. Scottish knows that they are minorities, so they don't want to be Prime Minister. They have given it up to the English. The Welsh, they don't want to be Prime Minister. They've given it up to the English because they know they are minority. The Welsh knows that they are minority. The Northern Irish don't want to be Prime Minister of Great Britain. They have given it to English because the English are majority. Likewise in America, you don't see African America saying that they must zone the presidency of America between black and white. It is never heard of. Everywhere in the world, majority rule, but minority rights are respected. Fulani minority ruling in Nigeria, it is like the minority white ruling in South Africa during the days of the apartheid. That is what is going on in Nigeria. That is why the concept of RUGA came in, because we are exposed to the world that minority are ruling in Nigeria. We still have a long way to go, but it seems that I'm tired and I should have some break. RUGA is making Fulani to worry about the growing Yoruba nationalism, but the young Yoruba people. The Yoruba are now realizing that they are the majority in Nigeria and can no longer allow Fulani to rule over the Yoruba people anymore. So part of the plans of the Fulani is with RUGA to grow the population of the Fulani. They've already changed the CIA World Fact Book. That's why I'm going to talk about the statement made by the US ambassador to Nigeria. But you miss all that statement, folks. Fulani are planning ahead of you to suppress you. The only way we can win is to destroy Lagos. Forget about what Femi Fanana said, that if we kill Fulani in Yoruba land, Fulani will kill Yoruba who are living in the north. Well, how many Yoruba are living in the north? Let them waste them. It is Sahara for them. If they like, let them remain there. We are going to kill Fulani in Yoruba land. We are going to shut down Lagos. Lagos is the battleground. If Lagos goes down, Yoruba land will rise. Lagos must be destroyed for Yoruba land to be great. That is the truth. London was once destroyed. Paris was once destroyed. Hiroshima, Nagasaki in Japan were once destroyed. Frankfurt in Germany was once destroyed. As a matter of fact, the entire Germany was destroyed. They rebuilt. Lagos must go down for Yoruba land to be great. Without shutting down Lagos, forget it. You cannot even get ordinary regional government. You cannot get it. They said to you that some states have accepted RUGA. I know, I'm aware that the RUGA has been suspended, but we still need to show you the plans of the federal government led by Fulani. They tell you that states, the states that have accepted RUGA in Nigeria, including Adamawa State, Kaduna State, Sokoto State, Nasarawa State, Katsina State, Kebbi State, Zamfara State, all have Fulani as governor, except Taraba, Benue, Plateau, Kogi, and Niger State. The intention is to grow the population of the Fulani for political means. They are minority. Hausa is more than Fulani, but all the governors in Northwest states are Fulani minorities. Not even Hausa people. When you allow minority to rule you, they will destroy your society. That's why there's no development in Nigeria. English want it like that because English are using the Fulani to steal the Yoruba wealth. Minority were ruling in South Africa. That was why black in South Africa went to war with the whites. The whites in South Africa were minority. Minority Fulani are ruling in Nigeria now. That's why we're having problem. Yoruba should be presiding over the affair of Nigeria because we are the majority and we are the economic backbone of Nigeria. We, the Yoruba, we are the Caucasian of Nigeria. We are the English of Nigeria. We must rule over Fulani and Igbo the same way white in America presided over African America. The same way the English in Britain rule over Scottish. We're going to deal with English in Yoruba. Believe you me. We don't like them because they don't like us. We like the white in America and we like the state of Israel. So all of these states that they have now adopted the RUGA, the federal government, through Garba Shehu, was quoted as saying, look at what Garba Shehu said. He said, the overall benefit of RUGA to the nation includes a drastic reduction in conflict between herders and farmers. That was what this guy said. Garba Shehu said, if you allow RUGA, there will be peace between Fulani herdsmen and farmers. This is a big lie. A big fat lie. The overall benefit of RUGA is simply to grow the population of the immigrant Fulani in Nigeria for political exigency. If there must be peace and drastic reduction in conflict between Fulani herdsmen and farmers, we must go back to regional governments. We must decentralize the military. We must decentralize the police. If we decentralize the military, the Yoruba have its own armed forces called the Yoruba National Guard under the office of Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò. No Jupiter called Fulani herdsmen would dare stray into Yoruba land without being shot dead. If they know that will happen, this will reduce conflicts. Fulani are going to people's farm to destroy it and to kill people because they are aware we practice unity system in which the military and the police are centralized under the commands and control of the Fulani presidency of Nigeria. So Garba Shehu lied. He said if we allow RUGA, this will reduce conflict between Fulani herdsmen and farmers. It's a big lie. What will reduce conflict is a return to regional government, the decentralization of the military, the decentralization of the police. Imagine we put Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò in charge of our military, decentralized military, called Yoruba National Guard, and Fulani herdsmen come to destroy our farms. If I were to be prime minister, I'm going to relieve Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò of his position as the Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò. Our prime minister, whoever that person is, will sack Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò. But can you sack Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò now? No, he doesn't even have the weapons. But that's a joke anyway. It's a rude joke. We do have the weapon. So you see what Garba Shehu said. When Garba Shehu speaks, he's speaking on behalf of the president. The president said that you must accept RUGA so that we can reduce conflict between farmers and herders, decentralize the Nigeria system, decentralize the police, decentralize the military. Now we challenge Fulani herdsmen to come into our space. When we decentralize the military, we, Yoruba nation, will sign a military pact with the US Armed Forces to train Yoruba soldiers with their Fulani raptak to stray into our territory. They will die. But Fulani are killing people successfully now because it is their brother who are in power, who control the police and the military. So Garba Shehu, you're fucking lying. You're lying. So if Fulani allows the decentralization of the military, the decentralization of the police, the decentralization of the court system, and a return to regional government, there will be a drastic reduction in conflict among the Yoruba, the Hausa Fulani, and the Igbo. So it is not RUGA that will reduce conflict. It is to take over people's space. It is the clear intention of the Fulani. Because they are minority, they've already lied to the CIA, saying that they are majority, because they've changed the CIA word fact book. When we said to you that, folks, we do extensive research, because I'm an economist and I'm the president of Young Yoruba for Freedom, you think that is a joke position? I'm a specialist, because I'm not the type that majority of Yoruba, our education is so porous. You will see somebody study medicine, you will go and do a postgraduate study, MBA, somebody that's studied medicine. It's not a specialist, it's going to kill you if you patronize him as a doctor. You will see somebody that studied economics, you go and do MBA, rather than him to go and do postgraduate study in economics. You see somebody that studied Yoruba, who go and do MBA finance. You're just doing horrible courses. That's why you are not specialists. The people that do all of these things before us, they were specialists. You have your Bachelor of Science degree in economics, you have your master's degree in economics, you can have PhD also in economics. You will be fantastically brilliant, not fantastically corrupt, like David Cameron says sometimes. But you cannot be doing junks all about. You do this course here, you move down to that course. You can never attain specialization. So when we are doing research, it is something that we have been trained for. So we know where to get data, and we put this information to liberate your mind. You are just making noise around RUGA. I caused it. The Young Yoruba for Freedom, we are responsible for the initiation or initiative, because Fulani is trying to grow their population, because we've exposed them to the world that they are minority, and minority cannot rule majority. So, Mr. Galbashir, you spoke for the president, but I will tell you something. For a long-term solution to conflict in Nigeria, the federal government monopoly over legitimate use of violence must be devolved to the federating regions. So what we're saying invariably, because you are Fulani, you might not understand the English, because you are barbarians, by the way. I know you want to arrest me, you guys. I know you Fulani idiots. But what we're saying to you is this: tell Buhari, he's not going to do it, by the way. Tell him we're going to go back to regional governments, to the 1963 Constitution that was suspended by the Igbo. We decentralize the police, we decentralize the military, we decentralize the court system. Conflict will reduce. RUGA will increase conflict. But your game is hard, Fulani, because I'm going to refer to the statement made by the U.S. ambassador. We're going to look at it together before we go now. I think we spend so much time anyway, but we're going to speak about this. Another bogus claim of RUGA, unfortunately, has been adopted by the UN. You know, Fulani representative representing Nigeria, she's a Fulani woman. I've forgotten that woman's name. They've gone far beyond your wildest imagination. They have enlisted the support of the United Nations. So United Nations made a bogus claim about desertification as the reason for roaming about with cattle. This is an unreasonable reason. People are doing ranches all over the place. You don't have to be moving with cattle. The United Nations should shut up. The UN had already bought into this ridiculous assertion that desertification is responsible for the roaming around of Fulani herdsmen, because Fulani are planning to rule you forever, Yoruba. So they've enlisted the support of the UN. UN made a statement. They were in favor of the desertification as responsible for this across West Africa. So the UN is saying that because of desertification, people can move from one sovereignty into other people's sovereignty. Right? That is what the UN ridiculously said when they were being pushed by the Fulani. But this stupid UN, there's poverty across Africa. People are dying in the desert. People are dying in the Mediterranean Sea. Why don't you allow us to move en masse to European countries so that we can leave poverty that is ravaging the entire West Africa? If you are bringing about excuses of desertification as the reason for immigrant Fulani to move from their space into Yoruba land, so the Yoruba would like to move to North America as well, would like to go to Europe because of poverty. Desertification and poverty have the same end result. People want to move. if that should be the case. So we are saying to the United Nations, we know you, you are a very useless organization. You will fold your hands until war starts before you take any decisive action. If you are reasonable, you will not support the idea of desertification as the reason for Fulani roaming about West Africa. You will have compelled the Hausa Fulani, in particular in Nigeria, to speak to Saudi Arabia, their Islamic nations country, to give them money to build ranches. Just one ranches in Katsina State will not take more than 10% of Katsina State land, and they can process all their beef and meat and export it across the world. But you are buying into the stupid idea of desertification as the reason why people are leaving their space. Yoruba people are facing poverty. Give them access to move to Europe. They will leave the entire Yoruba land, but that's a stupid thing to do. But we're just using that to counter your argument of desertification as the reason why Fulani should move into other people's space. No. If that is enough reason, poverty is enough reason for people to leave and move into Europe. But are you going to allow people to move into Europe? Are you going to allow people to move to North America? No, because you know the implication. So, but you want us to accept that desertification is sufficient reason for Fulani to come into my space. No way, we're not going to accept it. They're useless, United Nations. There was nothing like RUGA settlement under the regional system of government. We had no RUGA settlement. The Yoruba Western region, we established cattle ranches under the Western livestock. We had a cattle ranch at Akunu, Akoko, which was about 8,061 hectares of farmland. At Akunu, Akoko, there were 5 big dams for water. 2 were 4 hectares, and at peak of rain, you get a widespread of about 1 kilometer of the dam. It goes through Akunu, Akoko, Ikoku, Ikakumu, Akoko, Ise, Akoko, and Auga, Akoko. I'm an Akoko boy anyway. So this is why we build our ranches, and we have a very big dam. The cattle were owned by the Odua investment. The land is still there, but the facilities have been abandoned because of the suspension of the regional government. And we have to give thanks to the state of Israel. They were the one who helped us to build our farm settlement and our ranches. Israeli construction company, they built Abafemi Awolowo, they built Liberty Stadium, they built Cocoa House, they built the first dualized road in Africa, in Ibadan. They were our partners. So that's why I'm saying to you, my generation, we have started to revive the relationship with the state of Israel. Hausa Fulani, they love Saudi Arabia. We Yoruba, we don't like them. We don't love Saudi Arabia. We Yoruba, we love the state of Israel. It is our right. Buhari can go and have meeting with OIC. It is none of our problem. We will relate with the state of Israel. We also relate with America. The leadership of the Yoruba nation, they did a lot of business with Israel. And I'm glad that Vice President is thinking the same way. Governor of Lagos State, they are thinking the same way, reaching out to American businesses and Israeli businesses. Because if we do business with America, we do business with Israel, they will support us when there is war. That is it. We need to build allies. Our greatest allies we need to build with America, with Israel, with Brazil, because of the Yoruba connection with Brazil. Remember, during 1851 war with the English, the Brazilians and the Portuguese sold arms and ammunition to us. 1855 war with the English, the Brazilians and Portuguese sold arms and ammunition to us. 1892 war with the English, the Brazilian and Portuguese sold arms and ammunition to us. 1902 war with the English, we got the support of Portugal and Brazil too. These are our special friends. We must not leave them. We must rekindle that relationship with Portugal, Brazil, the state of Israel, and the United States of America that top it all. If we don't build allies, we cannot win war. That is the truth. We must have friends, and these are our friends. America is not an imperialist. America has never colonized Yoruba land. Give us the history. America has never colonized Yoruba land. We were colonized by only English. We started a relationship with Portuguese. in 14 centuries, not once did they colonize us. So our friendship with these people is very, very important. So we have farm settlement across Yoruba land under the regional government. There was also a cattle ranch in Oyo under the regional government with over 16,000 hectares of farmland solely owned by the Odua investment. It is all gone. It has been abandoned because we don't have revenue again. All our tax revenue, all our wealth and resources, the revenue we generated from all the wealth in Yoruba land, everything goes to Abuja to fund the lifestyle of Hausa Fulani Sokoto, Sultan of Sokoto Emir, and their politicians. These were the money that we were using to fund our cattle ranches and all our farm settlement and all development in Yoruba land. But everything is now going to where? Everything is now going to Abuja. That's why all our ranches in Yoruba land have been abandoned. No money. You take tax revenue from Yoruba land, you move it to Abuja. It's deliberate so that Fulani can come and sell their cattle to us. So they take all our wealth. So RUGA is not important. It's a propaganda. Unity system is the most important course of action that we need to take. If we don't end unity system, we will all live miserable lives. In Imeko, in Ogun State today, we have had 4,000 hectares of farmland for ranch in Ekiti at Okeako via Ayedun Ekiti. After Ikwao, we had 12,000 hectares of land for cattle ranch under regional government. We were not eating Fulani cow. There was a cow brought from Argentina by Awolowo. That was the kind of cow we were eating. They are no longer available in Yoruba land anymore. Because the taxes that we're supposed to use to survive, to maintain these ranches, all the revenue has been going to Abuja. You take VAT from Yoruba land, you move it to Abuja. You take capital gain tax from Yoruba land, you move it to Abuja. Withholding tax from Yoruba land, you move it to Abuja. Custom duties from Yoruba land, you move it to Abuja. VAT from Yoruba, everything you move it to Abuja. How do you want to get money to build, to sustain your ranches? How do you want to get money to build your roads? How do you want to get money to fund your schools? Awolowo is charging companies education tax to fund education. Every education tax we collected in Yoruba goes to Abuja. So there's no money for funding of education in Yoruba because we run unity system. Awolowo wanted to provide telephone services for everybody in Yoruba. He started charging companies information technology tax. We are still paying information technology tax in Yoruba land now today, all companies, but everything goes to Abuja. There's no money in our hand. That's why Fulani don't want to leave the presidency. That's why Igbo are desperate to retain the unity system so that they will continue to steal our money. That's why all our farm settlement, all our cattle ranches, they have all died natural death. There's no money to fund them anymore because all our money goes to Abuja. Fulani, we don't eat their food. We have always eat our own food. We don't buy food from Fulani until the Igbo suspended regional government. We don't eat their cattle. We have our own ranches. This is the evidence. It destroyed everything under unity system. RUGA is a propaganda of the Igbo to distract you from the major problem, unitary system. Let us go back to regional government. You see how your life will be. It will be a fantastic development for me if we go back to regional government because my children will live in Yoruba land. And I know my daughter, she might be the first female prime minister of Oduduwa Republic. She's very precocious. But they can't attain their full human potential in England. They are not English. That is the honest truth. Likewise, those of you who have your children abroad, we must think about their future. If we don't think about their future, we're joking with our own future. I know the stress of my parents in their old age. I know what they are going through. I don't want to go through that. I don't want to think about medical in my old age. I don't want to. I don't want to rely on my children for medical in my old age. No. This is one thing you have to think about. If you do nothing about this unity system, your whole age is messed up. Believe you me. You are young. You can have sex with so many men, right? Shit life. You can have sex with so many women. You will see your old age when there is no health care, when you have to depend on your children. You will see how miserable your life will be. You will see you had sex and brought these children to the world. They have no responsibility to take care of you. You were the one enjoying that sex. You ought to take care of your children. So if you want to take care of your children as a Yoruba person, you will think about regional government. You will think about Oduduwa Republic. Otherwise, your future will be messed up in your lifetime. It will be. If you think you want to escape abroad, we live abroad. We know what we face. The discrimination is real. Under regional government, we do not need to allow other people to come and do cattle ranches for us. What we can do on our own. But there's no money to fund this anymore. I drink water, I pay VAT in Yoruba land. My VAT goes to Abuja. How do you want to build ranches? How do you want to maintain your roads? You pay withholding tax in Yoruba land. How do you want to maintain your infrastructure when the taxes go to Abuja? We are using mobile phone. We're using mobile phone. We told you an average price of 1,200 naira. That is what you and I use on our mobile phone in Yoruba land. 5% of that 1,200 naira is 60 naira. We have 99 million people who are subscribers to mobile phone in Yoruba land. 60 naira multiplied by 99 million is 6 billion every month. 6 billion. The money goes to Abuja. 6 billion every month can fund your cattle ranches across Yoruba land. But the money is going to Abuja. That's why you don't have cattle ranches any longer in Yoruba land. That's why we don't have farm settlement any longer. We consume 5 million bottles of beer every day in Yoruba land. 5 million. An average price of beer is 300 naira. What is 5% of 300 naira? I think it's around 15 naira. Multiply 15 naira by 5 million bottles of beer that we will consume every day in Yoruba land. That comes to 75 million VAT on beer. 75 million every day. If we put that on our education, our children will go to free school. But that money goes to Abuja. Every blessed day in Yoruba land will consume 10 million bottles of soft drinks. All manners of soft drink. An average price of soft drink is 100 naira. 5% of 100 naira is 5 naira, which is VAT. Multiply 5 naira by 10 million bottles of soft drink that we consume. That comes to 50 million. 50 million every day. Yet we don't have money for our cattle ranches that we used to have under regional government. Why? Because our money goes to Abuja. When it gets to Abuja, Fulani take that money. Igbo take that money. Igbo are telling you RUGA is your problem. Unity system is your problem. But you are illiterate. We will not allow illiterate to rule over us. And I've said to Yoruba Libra, I have observed English. If you are brilliant, you are going into politics in England. You are brilliant, English, brilliant, you will rule them in politics. You go to public service. In America, you are brilliant, white, you are going to work in public service. But what do you have in Yoruba land? The moment they see a brilliant soul, they want to kill him. And it's very common with Yoruba Libra. They start using propaganda. That's why me have challenged you. Oh, be they say. But you surely Libra, generation to me, my paying, worry. And you lori everybody fẹ́ máa lọ sí ìlú òyìnbó that in suffer. Gbogbo owó tó wà nílẹ̀ Yorùbá kí ló jẹ́ òsì àǹfààní fún wa. We have always had cattle ranches under regional government, but now we are practicing unity system. We are not depending on Fulani to bring their cow. We consume 10,000 cows every day in Yoruba land. 10,000 cows every day. So you just have about 100 cattle farms or ranches in Yoruba land. 100. All these 100 together, they are supplying the 10,000 cattle that we consume every day in Yoruba land. Do you think that the business will go down? The business will not go down. They will employ a lot of people. But where is the money to do our cattle ranches again? Under unity system, we don't have the money because our money goes to Abuja. We're telling you, let us fight this unity system is the problem. Forget about the Igbo propaganda of RUGA. Stupid people. you're following Igbo propaganda. RUGA on our land is being canvassed for because regional government that help the Yoruba nation to attain food sufficiency has been replaced with a unitary system that steals all the wealth in Yoruba land to fund the economic growth and development of the North and Igbo land. Let me quickly sharpen your mind into a book that I recently came across. It's a journal, really. The journal was written in 1886. I want you guys to, smart folks around, you can search for the journal on the internet. It's there. The title is Notes on the Numeral System of the Yoruba Nation. Look at the title. Notes on the Numeral System of the Yoruba Nation. This is a journal written in 1887 by Adolf Mann. That was 27 years before Nigeria was created in 1914. Nigeria was created in 1914. This book was written in 1887, 27 years before Nigeria was created. It described, the title of the book described the Yoruba nation not as a tribe, but as a nation as far back as 1887. The title again is Notes on the Numeral System of the Yoruba Nation. It describes us as a nation. 2019, you will see illiterate Libra calling Yoruba a tribe. I am an Akoko Yoruba. Akoko is a tribe of the Yoruba nation. Remo is a tribe of the Yoruba nation. Egba is a tribe of the Yoruba nation. Awori is a tribe of the Yoruba nation. Ondo is a tribe of the Yoruba nation. Yewa is a tribe of the Yoruba nation. Yoruba is not a tribe. This is a book written 27 years before Nigeria was created that describes our nation, Yoruba land, as a nation. So somebody is talking about RUGA to be allowed into our nation, and you don't want to do something about it. When I was reading that book, it says something unique about the Yoruba nation. It says that the Yoruba numeral system is superior to that of the entire Europe. Our numbers, Tafin Kanko, is superior to that of the entire Europe. I challenge you, go and read it, because we always bring out information for you. Go and read it. Because the problem you, Libra, have is that you don't have library at home. You don't even read, and you want to have argument with people who are reading. You go to jail. It's a passion. I want only passion full way. What don't you down when you man create and want to accept the conservative with the brain power. Let us shape Yoruba land for the good of your children. For the good of your children. Stupid liberals. Thank you very much, Wanda, for saying you are Yoruba citizen. So a book written 1887 describes us as a nation, and people are calling Yoruba a tribe. See, they took history away from you, but President Buhari, I don't call him president, but he's brought back history anyway. It's good to what we do as young Yoruba for freedom. The only thing that we have done exceptionally well is that we use research to wake up the young Yoruba nation. So we are a nation, but the Igbo who suspended the regional government, they are against a return to the regional government. They are now saying that RUGA settlement will lead to Fulani taking over their space in Igbo land. But Igbo are everywhere in Yoruba and they've taken over our space. 70% of the population of Lagos is Igbo. But you saw the video of Igbo chasing out Fulani herdsmen and their cattle in Igbo land. You saw the video, it went viral. They are chasing out Fulani herdsmen, saying that Fulani want to take over their land. But Igbo have taken over Lagos. 70% of the population of Lagos is Igbo. That was why they are telling you they want to be governor. But they don't want RUGA in Igbo land. You see, they think they're smart, but they are not smart. If the Igbo nation had agreed with the Yoruba nation in 2014 Jonathan National Conference, if they've agreed that we return back to regional government, there will not be RUGA today in 2019. But the Igbo, they went to that Jonathan Conference and increased the state from 36 states to 54. Very ridiculous set of people. If the Igbo had agreed with the Yoruba nation for the decentralization of the police and the military in 2014 under the Jonathan National Conference, there wouldn't have been problem of the Fulani herdsmen today. Because if Fulani comes to Middle Belt to attack them, the Middle Belt military, because it will have been decentralized the military, the Middle Belt military will have been able to ward off the Fulani herdsmen. The Middle Belt military can go and sign contract with Russia military. They can go and sign contract with Chinese military. They can go and sign contract with American military to train their own people. So where there is problem of Fulani herdsmen, the people in the Middle Belt could have easily gone onto their friends in America, Russia for military support. So there won't be the problem of Fulani herdsmen that we have now. This would have been reduced. But what happened during the Jonathan National Conference? The Igbo rejected the decentralization of the police as well as the decentralization of the military. Now they are now chasing away Fulani herdsmen and their cattle from their space. Yet they want to remain in Yoruba land. Igbo, your days are numbers in Lagos. You are 70% of the population of Lagos. Believe you me, we're going to shut you out. Everyone seems to have forgotten that in 2014, Jonathan actually approved 100 billion naira for ranches from the money essentially generated from Yoruba land and from Niger Delta. Jonathan approved 100 billion for ranches in 2014. In 2019, they are still looking for money for ranches. Under unity system, corruption is the order of the day. Nothing can get done. Look at what is called constituency allowance. National Assembly members are given money to go and provide services for their constituency. But this ought to have been the responsibility of the regional governments. But because of unity system, we are giving money to National Assembly members. They call it constituency allowance. National Assembly members use it to sleep with all manners of young girls. They say the constituency allowance. This should have been the responsibility of the regional government. Look at what is going on in Nigeria under unity system. We give state government security allowance. Under regional government, there will not be anything like security allowance because the regional government will fund its own security. So we give governors security allowance every month. You see the kind of unity system is corruption. The constituency allowance given to National Assembly members is corruption. They use it to spend it anyhow, and they use it to spend it on women and their family members. The security allowances given to governor, they spend it on women and their families. The National Assembly constituency allowance should come under regional government project. It should be the regional government that is developing the region. The security allowance given to the state governor should be for the regions to provide security. You don't allocate such money to individuals. No. Unity system is all about corruption, corruption, corruption. Igbo and Fulani are the most corrupt in Nigeria. They don't want to end this corruption called unity system. You know another thing they do under unity system? Every state will go cap in hands to Abuja to get monthly allocation. Nigeria is a hell on earth, believe you me. Black people that are behaving like evil, Satan the devil. Security allowance to governor, ridiculous. Give us regional police. We don't need security allowance for the governor. The regional police will take care of the policing, and the regional army will take care of the security in the region. Consistency allowance to National Assembly member. Let the regional government develop their regions. Let the National Assembly member focus on law and order. So to say, let them focus on common law. They cannot be the one in charge of constituency projects. Monthly allocation, face it out. Let the region generate their own money. People should not be going to Abuja to collect money, but Igbo said no. We must continue with the security allowance for the government. We must continue with the consistency allowance for National Assembly members. We must continue with monthly allocations. Unity system is source of corruption. It is destroying Yoruba land because all this money that they are sharing, security, vote, constituency allowance, monthly allocation, everything is coming from Yoruba land. Every goddamn thing is coming from Yoruba. Igbo and Fulani are criminals. Believe you me. You believe they are both one and the same. They desire the same thing. They want to subjugate you, Yoruba. If we shut down Lagos, we destroy these three things. Lagos goes down, security allowance or security vote to the governor goes down. Lagos goes down, there's no money for constituency allowance. Lagos goes down, the monthly allocation is fault. We have the power, young Yoruba, and we're going to use it. We told them the awareness is growing. Fulani can't rule over Yoruba anymore. Forget it. We know they have the support of the English, first class support of the English, but we know how to deal with the situation, which we've been telling you. So the money allocated for ranches under Jonathan, stolen. That's what you get under unity system. RUGA settlement is one of the multiplier effects of the unity system imposed on Nigeria by the Igbo and perpetrated by the Fulani. Without RUGA settlement, Fulani, with the backing of the English, already controls everything in Yoruba. So the argument, the propaganda that RUGA will take our land is all bullshit. With unity system, our land has been taken away from us. With unity system, Fulani controls everything in Yoruba. Fulani control our seaport with unity system. Fulani control our waterways with unity system. Fulani control our customs with unity system. Fulani control our immigration with unity system. Fulani control our police with unity system. Fulani control our military with unity system. Fulani control all the tax revenue generated in Yoruba with unity system. Fulani control all our land borders in Yoruba land, Seme border, Idiroko border, Chakanda. Fulani controls all our land borders with unity system. Fulani control all our political parties in Yoruba land with unity system. Fulani control all our obas with unity system. So what exactly is RUGA going to be that Fulani has not already achieved? RUGA is a distraction by the Igbo so that you don't focus on the problem. The problem is the unity system. Forget about RUGA. If the Igbo are genuinely against the RUGA settlement, the solution is not social media propaganda, but the support for a return to the regional governments. If the Igbo are genuinely concerned about RUGA settlement, they must actively reject the current unity system if they are truly concerned about that. If Buhari, who is a Fulani man, if you replace Buhari today with an Igbo citizen to be the president of Nigeria, he will make sure that Igbo control everything in Nigeria. Igbo will control the military, Igbo will control the police, Igbo will control the seaport, Igbo will control the waterways in Yoruba, Igbo will control the custom in Yoruba, they will control immigration in Yoruba, they will control the police in Yoruba, and they will control the military in Yoruba, they will control the tax revenue in Yoruba, Igbo will control all our land borders, Igbo will control all our political parties, Igbo will control all our obas. If Buhari is replaced with Igbo today. So the Igbo that are using propaganda about RUGA is a distraction from the main problem, unitary system. Nigeria problem is the unitary system. The Igbo brought the unitary system upon us and are using propaganda to retain the unitary system by all means. They came with Biafra. Holy, 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 Nnamdi Kanu is another savior. Holy, 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 Nnamdi Kanu is another savior. Their intention is to retain the unity system. That is their clear intention. Propaganda is a fraud. Biafra, rather, is a fraud. They are just using it to retain the unity system. If they are truly genuine, We know Igbo land. Their territory is very clear. Go and read the book that we just released to the public about the Igbo of Nigeria, published in 1921. The author started writing this information in 1900. It took him 21 years to publish it. The Igbo people of Nigeria. We know your territory. Stop claiming Edo territory. Stop claiming Urobo territory. Stop claiming Ijo territory. Stop claiming Efikibibio territory. Stop claiming Ogoni territory. Stop claiming other people's territory. You are using Biafra as a propaganda to retain the unity system. That's your joker. You are winning, but you are going to lose very soon. Very, very soon. You're going to lose. So, folks, we have spent so much time. Unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to talk about the U.S. government, the U.S. ambassador's statement. Maybe I might have to find time to talk about this because we spent 3 hours talking about it. It is very important, that statement. If I am not going to, let me quickly say that and completely forget about the other things that I have in mind. Folks, the U.S. ambassador to Nigeria, Mr. Stewart, he made a statement. And I'm just going to quickly go through that statement. It's a recent statement. He said, and I'll quote, he said, Nigeria is not just a country. Nigeria is not just a nation. He's trying to confuse us. He's trying to be diplomatic with that statement. He said, Nigeria is not just a country, we know. Nigeria is not just a nation, we know. Nigeria was not just drawn on a map to bound first as a colony and later as free women and men. This country, Nigeria, is an idea very familiar to every American. End of quote. Is trying to be diplomatic here. He says he's a diplomat. He says that Nigeria is not just a country. Nigeria is not just a nation. Nigeria is never a nation. Nigeria is a country of many nations. Mr. Ambassador, I'm talking to the U.S. ambassador. And you are wrong as well. In as much that we, the Yoruba nation, we respect the United States of America, we want you to treat us as equal partner. You said that Nigeria was not just drawn on a map, bound first as a colony and later as free women and men. Nigeria was just drawn on a map by the English, French, and German colonial talks. That was what happened. Nigeria, I agree with you, is an idea. But Mr. Ambassador, the idea was based on a negotiated constitution. The constitution was negotiated at Lancaster House between 1957 and 1959. And the outcome of that negotiation was a constitution that was written in 1959. It became operational in 1960, 1st of October. So it was an idea based on a negotiated constitution. The constitution we have now was written in 1999 by Fulani. We reject it, the Yoruba nation, we reject it. Mr. Ambassador, the U.S. ambassador to Nigeria, he went on to say this, and I quote, "It is an idea that people who speak 497 different languages, that is twice as many languages that are spoken on any given day in the United Nations. 497 different tongues coming together. Nigeria is the idea." End of quote. The U.S. ambassador to Nigeria is talking bullshit here. And I say that word, and I use that word bullshit with all due respect. President Trump, who is the Republican president, is known to be sharp shooter. Is known to be straightforward. Is known to be fair. So the U.S. ambassador saying that the languages in Nigeria is 497 is a bold-faced lie. is not being straightforward here, and it's an unfortunate statement. In 1952, there was a census result in a report in Nigeria, in 1952 census report. That census report gives the number and identity of ethnic groups in Nigeria at 51 ethnic groups. 51. So the US ambassador idea that we have 497 different languages is a nonsense. It's a stupid statement to have come out from the US ambassador, because US is known to be very straightforward. It's a regret. It's a great concern for people like us that the US ambassador is saying that. Why is he saying that? Is he giving us the impression that Nigeria is going to be divided into 497 nations? No. That statement is unfair, it's unjust, and it's a great disservice to the honor and person of President Trump, who we all know to be very, very fair in his judgment. So I will refer the US ambassador to Nigeria to the 1952 census exercise that was conducted in Nigeria. That census recorded that Nigeria has 51 ethnic groups. So we do not have 497 languages. So the 51 ethnic groups are, and I hope the US ambassador will watch this video. Number 1, Hausa Fulani. 2, Yoruba. 3, Igbo. 4, Efik, Ibibio, and Anang. 5, Kanuri. 6, Tiv. 7, Ijo. 8, Edo. 9, Urobo. 10, Nupe. In the 1952 census report, these 10 ethnic groups were described as major ethnic groups of Nigeria. That 1952 report recognized only 51 ethnic groups. 10 were considered major ethnic groups. The other are grouped as minor ethnic groups. They are one is found in Ogoja province, and they have number 11, Boki. 12, Eric Yako. 13, Nimbe. 14, Obanling. 15, Ukele. 16, Yala. 17, Abua. Under the Rivers province, which is today River State, the other ethnic groups, which are minor ethnic groups, are 18, Unengi. 19, Ogoni. 20, Bas. In Benue province, which is today Middle Belt, we have other ethnic groups which are minority. Number 21 is Egede. 22, Gwari. 23, Idoma. 24, Kutev. 25, Babo. Under Borno province, which is today Yobe, Borno, Maiduguri area, we have number 26 ethnic groups at Dendawa. 27, Bura. 28, Shua Harab. 29, Bogawa. Under Ilorin province, which is today Kwara and Kogi, we have the number 33 ethnic groups as Busawa. Number 30 ethnic groups are as Busawa. 31, Basa Komo. Under province that was described as Kaba, which is today Kogi State. The other one that I described as Ilorin province is today Kwara State. The new one is Kaba province, which is today Kogi State. Under Kaba province, we have number 32 ethnic groups, Gwari. 33, Igala. 34, Ibira. 35, Kambari. 36, Owe. 37, Magazawa. Under Kano province, we have Dak Akari, which is number 38. Under Niger province, which is today Niger State and other states, we have 39, Dukawa. 40, Gwari. 41, Kambari. 42, Kamuka. 43, Angas. Under Plateau province, which is today around Plateau State and Nasarawa, we have number 44 ethnic groups, Birom. 45, Egon. 46, Sura. 47, Yegon. 48 Adarawa. Under Sokoto province, we have, which is today Kebbi State, Sokoto State, and Zamfara State. We have Arawa, number 49, 50 Zambima, 51 Gwari, 52 Java. Under Zaire region, we have 53 Kadara, 54 Kaje, 55 Qatar. These were all the ethnic groups that were recognized. Though I want you to know that the ethnic groups that were recognized as reported in 1952 census were 51, but I've listed 55 for you now. The reason is that the Gwari are minority in 4 of the provinces that I've listed. So I listed Gwari 4 times. I listed the Kambari twice. I listed Ijo, who are minority in Midwest and Ijo area. I listed them twice as well. So that's why it is 55. The 1952 census recognized 51 linguistic groups, that is ethnic groups. So the US ambassador to Nigeria saying that we have 494 different languages is completely arrant nonsense. I think from the report is that the United States is not open for Nigeria to be divided. That's why the US ambassador is talking that bullshit, saying that we have 497 different languages. It's all lies. The 1952 census report recognized only and identified 51 ethnic groups. So we have 51 ethnic groups in Nigeria. In South Africa, they recognized 54 ethnic groups. In 1993, they had a national conference and decided to group all these 54 ethnic groups into 9 ethnic regions. That is it. So, Mr. US Ambassador to Nigeria, I respect you so much because the Yoruba nation would like to have a fantastic, super special relationship with the United States. But we will respect the idea of respecting the sensibility of the young Yoruba. So don't tell us bullshit by telling us that we have 497 languages. It's unacceptable. It's an insult on the integrity of the Yoruba nation. In as much as we look up to the United States to work with you, we want you to treat us with respect and dignity. With respect and dignity. That is very paramount. So we reject the statement credited to the US ambassador that there are 497 languages in Nigeria. We only have 51 ethnic groups. For instance, out of this 51 ethnic group, there's one that is Yoruba, which is who I am. But in the Yoruba nation, or we put it the Yoruba ethnic groups, we have 20 tribes. And the tribes are 1, Oyo tribe. The Oyo are found mainly in Oyo State. Number 2 is Igbomina tribes of the Yoruba nation. They are found mainly in Osun and Kwara State. Number 3 is Ekiti tribe. They are found mainly in Ekiti State. Number 4 is Ijesha tribe, found mainly in Osun State. Number 5 is Oworo tribe, found mainly in Kogi State. Number 6 is Akoko, which I am. My tribe is Akoko Yoruba, which are found mainly in Ondo and Edo State. Number 7 is Owo tribe, which is found mainly in Ondo State. Number 8 is Akure tribe, which is found mainly in Ondo State as well. Number 9 is Ondo tribe, which again is found in Ondo State. Number 10 is Ikale tribe, which is found mainly in Ondo State. Number 11 is Ilaje tribe, which is found mainly in Ondo State again. Number 12 is Egba tribe, which is found mainly in Ogun State. Number 13 is Ijebu tribe, which is found mainly in Ondo, Ogun, Oyo, and Lagos states. Number 14 is Awori tribe, which is found mainly in Lagos and Ogun State. Number 15 is Yewa tribe, which is found mainly in Ogun State. Number 16 is Onko tribe, which is found mainly also in Oyo State. Number 17 is Owe tribe, which is found mainly in Kogi State. Number 18 is Ohori tribe, which is found in Benin Republic. These 18 tribes are also the 18 dialects of the Yoruba languages. In addition to these 18 tribes, there are other two Yoruba tribes. One is Shekiri, is a tribe of the Yoruba nation, and Ife Togo is another tribe of the Yoruba nation. Both Ishekiri and Ife Togo, they use the standard Yoruba dialect of Oyo. So the US ambassador saying that we have 497 languages in Nigeria is uncalled for. It's uncalled for completely. So it will be reasonable for us to speak the truth at all times. We have 51 ethnic groups in Nigeria. One of these ethnic groups is Yoruba. Within the Yoruba nation, we have 20 tribes of the Yoruba nation. These Yoruba tribes are not nations. They are tribes of the Yoruba nations. And that is what is very important. In addition to what the US ambassador to Nigeria said, he said, and I quote, not that one people, he said, no, sorry, not that one people with one language or one people with one faith or one people of one color or who come from one place, is this paragraph is referring to Fulani, who come from one place, but that all people of all languages can truly be bound in freedom, and the sum of those parts can be much more than any one member could ever be. End of quote. So in this regard, I will want to appreciate the US ambassador to Nigeria, Mr. Stewart, for being very open here and honest. When you said about 497 languages, I took it upon you, giving you evidence that you were wrong. But your statement in this paragraph that I've just read is a clear intention that you know the worries of the other nation within Nigeria. You are concerned about the action and attitude of the Fulani. So that is why you said that you would not accept that the sum or parts of the nation can much more be taken over by one member. The Fulani as an ethnic group in Nigeria are minority, and you quite agree with us that they are doing so much havoc from the statement you have made in this paragraph. Thank you very much for saying that, because it is getting clear that the United Nations might not take position with the Fulani, because you have stated that Fulani are trying to impose on other nations, which is going to affect the freedom within Nigeria. And then you finally said this in one of your comments. You said, and I quote, "This, by the way, for 243 years, it has been the dream of the United States to take people separated and divided in colonies with different rulers and bring them together as a nation with one governor. The Nigerian idea is an idea that is absolutely, truly shared by the United States." Mr. Ambassador, thank you very much for pointing out what you share as a citizen of the United States. Now, you agree with me, and I don't have to tell you this, that originally there were 13 colonies in the United States who fought for independence from England and the British Crown. These 13 colonies were Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Georgia, Connecticut, Massachusetts Bay, Maryland, South Carolina, New Hampshire, Virginia, New York, North Carolina. Just hold on one second. Sorry. North Carolina, Rhode Island, and Providence plantations. Now, these were the original 13 colonies that fought against the English, and they then took over from the English. They then took over from the English after the war. So in the US ambassador knows very well that in 1783, King George III of the United Kingdom signed the Treaty of Paris that officially ended the American Civil War and recognized the 13 colonies as independent nations. And the large parts of the space, which is the eastern United States, the entire eastern, which is a very vast territory, were then handed over to the United States government. The English gave up that land. But one thing that is very important is that from these 13 colonies, which are different nations on their own, they decided to form what is today the United Kingdom and the United States of America. And then the eastern region of the United States of America that was very vast, divided, which is from eastern states, from the Atlantic Ocean all the way to the Mississippi River to Canada, and then divided into what is today into what is today Ohio, Indiana, Michigan, and Minnesota, and the rest of them. Why I'm saying this is that you recognize the fact that your own country has gone through a lot in forming a better nation or a better country. But what was agreed, this constitution that was signed in Paris, was federalism, upon which the United States is still based today. But in the case of Nigeria, we agreed to a regional system of government, but this has been suspended since 1966. And this is the reason why we're having the problem that we've been having in Nigeria. So it will be of great help for the US to intervene and help to compel the Hausa Fulani to return Nigeria back to the regional system of government we all agreed to. This is the only solution that will bring about peace. The Constitution of Nigeria that was written in 1959, which became operational on the 1st of October 1960, there was a proviso in that Constitution that says that the 3 regions shall be divided into 10 regions after the English colonial term had left. It's the same thing that happened in the United States of America, whereby the 13 colonies, from 13 colonies, became 50, because the entire eastern United States of America was given up by the English because they lost the war. So different country came out of that, and some places, some states were purchased, like California and the rest of them were, California were purchased from Mexico. Alaska was purchased from Russia. Florida was purchased from Spain. Texas was purchased from Mexico. And as well as California, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, and part of Colorado and New Mexico, they were purchased from Mexico. So that was how you created your own nation. You then adopted federalism. It's the same thing with Nigeria. 3 nations came together to form the union called Nigeria. And the 3 nations agreed that after independence, they will allow the minority within their respective regions to have their own region. So we were supposed to move from Western region, Eastern region, and Northern region to 10. So the Western region was expected to have been divided into 2, Yoruba Western region and the Midwest. Midwest will include Edo, Urobo, Isoko, Ika, Aniocha, and Kwani people. The Eastern region was expected to have been divided into Igbo region, Ijo region, and Efik Ibibio region. And the Northern region was expected to be divided into Hausa Fulani region, Kanuri region, Western Middle Belt, Central Middle Belt, and Eastern Middle Belt. So we're supposed to move from 3 regions to 10 regions under parliamentary system. But the Igbos suspended the system. They introduced unitary system and ran everything in Nigeria. So we don't have 497 languages, like you have said, Mr. Ambassador. We have 51 recognized ethnic groups. These 51 recognized ethnic groups were supposed to be divided into 10 ethnic regions of Yoruba Western region, Midwestern region, Igbo Eastern region, Ijaw region, Efik Ibibio region, Hausa Fulani region, Kanuri region, Western Middle Belt, Central Middle Belt, and Eastern Middle Belt. That was how we were supposed to be, not this current 36 state ridiculous state structures that we have under unitary system. This is what is causing the problem. So the US ambassador, we are going to ask you to reconsider the statement you've made that Nigeria has 497 languages. We do not. We have 51 recognized ethnic groups as recognized in the 1952 census report. The reports are there. The census were conducted by the English colonial government. So this is the starting point. From 51 ethnic groups, we were supposed to be 10 regions. 10 regions under parliamentary system, which is akin to federalism that you have in your country. The US ambassador, I do not have to tell you that each state in America, the states were originally colonies. Colonies were independent countries. But in the case of Nigeria, Lagos State, Osun State, Kaduna State, Kano State, they were not nations. They were glorified, they are just glorified local government. So these states were created by the Fulani and the Igbo. They cannot be the federating unit of Nigeria because they are not nation. But Yoruba nation, Igbo nation, Hausa Fulani nation, Kanuri nation, Ijaw nation, these are the ethnic groups in Nigeria that must be the federating unit. So with that, like you have in America, each colonies, which you now call state, they control their own police, they control their own military, they control their own court, up to the Supreme Court. They control their mineral and natural resources, they control their tax, they conduct their own election. They control everything in their own colony, which is a nation, but they give an appropriate and agreed percentage of their wealth to the federal government. That is what we want. So let us drop this game of fear that Nigeria has 497 languages. It's all nonsense, with all due respect to you, Mr. Ambassador. That is not true. The 1952 reports recognize only 51 ethnic groups. The same thing happened in South Africa. They have 54 ethnic groups. From 54, they became 9 regions, ethnic regions, and each regions have their own prime minister. That is what we want in Nigeria. So we don't want this game of fear to go on, telling us that we are this ridiculous number. We are not. We are not. If the Fulani were to conduct the number of ethnic groups in Nigeria today, they will inflate the figure. If the Igbo were to do the same thing, they will inflate the figure, but we have to adopt the figure of 1952 census, which reported only 51. Let us drop this game of fear by saying that Nigeria has 200 ethnic groups. No, Yoruba is not even a tribe. Yoruba is a nation. So that is what we need to point out to the US ambassador's statement. The US ambassador clearly warned the Fulani in his statement that one of the people, this is how I put it so that I can note that one people with one language, or one people with one faith, or one people of one color, or who come from one place, is referring to Fulani who come from one place, but that all people of all languages can truly be bound in freedom, and the sum of those parts can be much more than any one member could ever be. It's actually attacking the Fulani, which we respect his view for. But you know, he's an ambassador. He has to be diplomatic. He twisted his word rightly. He got it absolutely right. And we show respect to the US ambassador to Nigeria. But we want them to get involved. We want them to help us bring back regional government. The Yoruba region, which includes Lagos State, Ogun State, Oyo State, Osun State, Ondo State, Ekiti State, plus 12 local government of 16 local government of Kwara State, 6 local government of the 21 local government of Kogi State, the 3 local governments, Yoruba-speaking local government in Delta State, and Akoko Edo, 1 Yoruba-speaking local government in Edo State. We want all these 10 states and area to be under Yoruba region. We want to elect our home prime minister, and we want to sign a military pact with America. We want to trade with the United States. So this is what we help the U.S. ambassador to help us to do. So folks, I've not been able to speak on everything that I've wanted to talk about, but I thank you all for your time, and I thank you all for staying ahead. So I might find time to think about other things, but I have to go now because I've been told that someone is waiting for me. So thank you very much, guys. As a giveaway, I want the Yoruba youth who are going to be participating in the election in the United States of America. I want you to know one thing: whenever the Republican Party is in power, Yoruba nation do not have problem. We do not have problem whenever the Republican is in power. If you look at 1960, when we obtained independence, a Republican was in power. Dwight Estiano, he was the president of the United States, a Republican. We obtained our independence. We've been trying to obtain independence since 1957. The Fulani said they were not ready. The Igbo said they would wait for Fulani to be ready, but the Yoruba said we were ready. But we struggled until they gave us that independence in 1960, when the Republican was in government. If you look at 1962, that was when Awolowo was arrested for treason. Democrat was in power. John F. Kennedy, he was in power. Awolowo was arrested. You see, we had a problem in Yoruba nation. Then in 1963, Awolowo was jailed for 10 years by Awusa Fulani and the Igbo. Democrat again was in power. President Lyndon B. Johnson was then in power in 1963. Folks, in 1966, that was when we had the first civil war in Nigeria. Again, the Democrat was in power. The civil war started in Nigeria by the Igbo. Lyndon B. Johnson was the president of the United States of America, a Democrat. In 1970, Richard Nixon was the president, a Republican. That was when the civil war ended in Nigeria. You see, that's another reason. Whenever the Republican Party is in power, there is stability in Yoruba. Believe you me, there's peace for us. So in 1970, when Republican came into power, the war ended. In 1979, Jimmy Carter was the president, a Democrat. Again, that was when Awolowo was rigged out as the president of Nigeria. The Igbo and Hausa Fulani voted for Shagari, but the people in Kanuri, the people in today's South and Middle Belt and Yoruba, they voted for Awolowo. Awolowo won, but they rigged out that election. That was when they came up with the concept of 12-2-3, that a woman being can be half, which is not possible. They rigged out Awolowo in 1979. The Democrats were in power. Whenever Democrats are in power, the Yoruba are always facing trouble. This is what I want you to know. This is our research work that we've done. Yoruba will always be subjugated when Democrats are in power. So don't vote for Democrat. Vote for President Trump, Republican Party. In 1993, Bill Clinton, a Democrat, was in power. That was when Abiola election was annulled. In 1994, Bill Clinton, also a Democrat, was in power. That was when Abiola was arrested and jailed. In 1998, Bill Clinton, a Democrat, was still in power. That was when Abiola was assassinated. In 1999, Bill Clinton, a Democrat, was in power when Olufalaye was rigged out of the presidential election of 1999. Whenever Democrats are in power, Yoruba, you are always in problem. So believe you me, if Hillary Clinton had won, ISIS West Africa would have grown, because the Lake Chad Basin Commission that Obama pledged $20 million to, that Buhari gave $100 million to when he was sworn in immediately, that was the military of the Fulani that the Democrat Hillary Clinton wanted to use as the ISIS West Africa to overrun the entire Yoruba land, and the entire West Africa. And Yoruba land is their main target. God Almighty, Eledumare, is very kind to us to have brought President Trump. This is the time for the Yoruba in America to support President Trump's second term. Think about the future of your children. It is the future of your children that matters. You might be saying President Trump is deporting people. Yes, come back home to Yoruba. Let us make it great. We cannot constitute nuisance to them in America. We can't constitute nuisance to them in England or any European country. Let us build Yoruba. We can only build Yoruba if we return Nigeria back to regional government. Thank you, folks. I'm very grateful. I will see you some other time. So I'll see you some other time.